Good afternoon. We'll resume our meeting, and we're going to go to item P78.
Oh, yeah, you roll call for everything this afternoon.
We needed roll call to start this afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Victorios Pitos, Planning, Development, and Economic Growth. Item P78 is an ordinance establishing the preserve at Legends Point Community Development District pursuant to Chapter 190 Florida statutes, providing for authority and power of the district, providing for powers and duties of the district, providing for the Board of Supervisors of the district, providing for the district budget, providing for functions of the district, providing for miscellaneous provisions, providing for an effective date. This comes to you with recommendation to adopt the ordinance by roll call vote and to authorize the chair to execute the originals of the ordinance provided.
And we have proof of publication in the Business Observer, November 15th, and November 15th, November 22nd, November 29th, and December 6th, 2024.
Okay. Very good. Any questions for staff? Okay. This is a public hearing. Is anyone here from the public want to speak to item P78? See no one?
Move approval.
Second.
And roll call vote?
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Waitman.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 3, Commissioner Starkey is not present at this time. District 5, Commissioner Mariano,
Aye.
Vice Chairman.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Item P79.
We have proof of publication of the hearing of this matter at this time in the Tampa Bay Times, November 13th, 20th, 27th, and December 4th, 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This item is an ordinance establishing Del Webb River Reserve Community Development District pursuant to Chapter 190 Florida statutes, providing for authority and power of the district, providing for powers and duties of the district, providing for the Board of Supervisors of the district, providing for the district budget, providing for functions of the district, providing for miscellaneous provisions, providing for an effective date, and this comes to you with the recommendation to adopt the ordinance by roll call vote and to authorize the chair to execute the ordinance, the originals of the ordinance.
Okay. Any questions for staff? Any question or any public comment for item P number 79? Okay, take a
Move
motion.
approval.
Second.
And roll call vote?
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
And District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 3, Starkey, not present. District 5, Acting Chair Mariano.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Item number P80.
We have proof of publication in the Business Observer, November 15th, 22nd, 29th, and December 6th, 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This item is PDE 25006. This is an ordinance establishing the Kenton Community Development District pursuant to Chapter 190 Florida statutes, providing for authority and power of the district, providing for powers and duties of the district, providing for the Board of Supervisors of the district, providing for the district budget, providing for functions of the district, providing for miscellaneous provisions, providing for an effective date. This also comes with a recommendation to adopt the ordinance by roll call vote and authorize the chair to execute the originals of the ordinance.
Okay. Any questions for staff? Is there anyone in the public who'd like to speak to item P80? Seeing none?
Move approval.
Second.
And roll call vote?
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman. District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
He's given an aye.
He's got a thumbs up.
Thumbs up for an aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 3, Commissioner Starkey, not present. District 5, Acting Chair Mariano.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. Now we'll go to item P81.
We have proof of publication in the Tampa Bay Times, September 4th, 2024, supplemented by an affidavit of certified mailings and site postings. Noted that this was originally continued from the October 22nd meeting to today.
Okay.
Thank
Sorry?
you, Mr. Chairman. This is PDE 250011. This is an ordinance amending the Pasco County Comprehensive Plan, providing for a comprehensive plan amendment to the future land use maps 2-15 and sheet 10, changing from Res 1, residential 1 dwelling unit per gross acre, to COM, commercial, on approximately 3.02 acres of real property located at the northeast corner of the intersection of Jasmine Boulevard and Little Road. This comes with a recommendation to approve the proposed comprehensive plan and adopt the ordinance by roll call vote. We have a presentation if so desired.
We want to see a presentation, yes.
Very good.
Good afternoon, Amy Tull with Planning and Development. So the ordinance has already been into record. Today's amendment is the adoption hearing for a proposed comprehensive plan amendment. The applicant is proposing an amendment from Res 1, residential 1 dwelling unit per gross acre, to COM, commercial, on approximately 3.02 acres. It is located at the northeast corner of the intersection of Jasmine Boulevard and Little Road. There is a proposed companion rezoning, or will be a proposed companion rezoning petition. The applicant has acknowledged that on November 18th, they would request a rezoning petition to C1, which is your neighborhood scaled zoning district. So here is just a general location of the property, being within the Embassy District of the West Market area and the urban service area. Here's a context map to highlight its location at the intersection of Jasmine Boulevard and Little Road. As you can see, there is currently existing neighborhood scaled commercial on the west side of Little Road, as well as some high density and low density residential surrounding it. Here's the aerial map of the proposed site, the existing Res 1 future land use, the proposed future land use to COM. There is the transportation network of being at the intersection of Jasmine Boulevard and Little Road. Little Road is an arterial roadway. Jasmine Boulevard is a collector roadway. There's also the Little Road Trail that is running alongside Little Road. Excuse me. And then the existing zoning district is currently PO2. As noted, the applicant did confirm that they would request a rezoning petition to C1, which is your neighborhood scaled zoning, or commercial. The following policies are consistent with the proposed comprehensive plan amendment. And with that, we recommend to approve the proposed comprehensive plan amendment and adopt by roll call vote. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I'll fire a couple of questions.
Sure.
So in talking with, I had met with the applicant, we had talked about how I didn't think gas stations would be a good location for that use. I talked about no car washes, no self-storage, and obviously no live local. I know it's a land use thing, but is that going to be coming up when we talk to the others that they've agreed to that?
Yes, so preliminarily, the conversations had was the applicant was proposing an amendment to COM. PDE, or Planned Development Economic Growth's stance at that point in time was essentially to deny the request unless they were going to kind of restrict the uses to prohibit self-storage, gas stations, so on and so forth. At the local planning agency that was heard last month, their vote was to recommend just a straight COM without the proposed deed restriction. The deed restriction will be covered at the zoning stage, so that will be accompanying with their request of a C1 zoning district rather than a C2 zoning district. But the prohibited uses would not be at that point in time. The only deed restriction would be for the live local.
Okay. So I know we got some public opposition. What was handed out to us earlier, and I see the gentleman, Mr. Rose, is here to speak as well. I'd like to hear from the applicant, and then I think my thoughts is, and Jeff coached me on this, but my thinking is that we hold back and hear the zoning to make sure we get all the conditions in that we're protected.
You can't.
You can't?
Because they're proposing a straight zoning category, so the comprehensive plan amendment must be effective before you can take up the zoning amendment. Now, the zoning amendment can, as you have done on numerous other occasions, have a deed restriction which travels with it. that restricts uses if that's the board's desire.
So we can put those deed restrictions in now.
You can put those deed restrictions in when the C1 comes up. You could actually probably put a sub-area policy in that restricts the uses. David?
I think staff has put in some rate policies, it's a fairly small piece of property, I don't know that the work that the staff has done.
Yes, a sub-area policy is the way a comprehensive plan, future land use can be controlled.
So you could limit its uses within a sub-area policy for the comprehensive plan amendment if that's the board's desire.
Okay, very good.
And just a couple other things. So the existing zoning district is still consistent or would be consistent with the proposed ComFlu. So there's that to consider. And then also Liam just made note that the self-storage in the gas station would not be a permitted use by right in C1. It would be a special exception.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. All right. Ready to hear from the applicant?
Right, you can pass that gavel
Oh,
down.
I will pass the gavel.
And I warned everyone I wasn't going to make it back at 1:30, so,
No problem.
yeah, thanks.
Good morning, Madam Chairman and members of the County Commission. My name is Cindy Terrapini, Terrapini Planning Strategies, 128 East Tarpon Avenue in Tarpon Springs. I am the authorized representative for the applicant, who is also the property owner, Castaigne LLC. I do have a document for the overhead in a little bit, and I'll go ahead and pass it out to you.
Do we need to move?
Make a motion, receive and file.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
I think it's roll call vote on
it is.
everything.
Roll call.
The receive and file, you don't need a roll
Oh, we don't
call.
need one?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And Commissioner Waitman, if you don't want to stay on, I know you're not feeling well. You're, whatever you want to do. I'm here now.
I think I'll take my presentation a little out of order to just address the issue of the deed restriction and the C1, C2, and then I'd like to make some other comments. We did initially start with the C2 zoning district with a laundry list, 15 or 16 items, including live local, that would be prohibited through the deed restriction. And we were a little concerned about whether some uses were allowed by right in C1. We clarified that with the staff, that the uses that we are interested in would be allowed by right in C1. And so as Ms. Hyler stated, we did state at the Planning Commission that we would, when we're ready to submit the rezoning, which we're still a little bit from that we would request C1. And I'm stating here today, the applicant and my client have agreed that they would do a deed restriction to prohibit gas stations, car washes, and the live local. We hadn't thought about the self-storage, but I'll double check with him when we take a break, but I'm pretty sure that won't be a problem either. So just to be clear, when we do the rezoning application, we would submit C1 should you all, approve this application. So this is a plan amendment from Res 1 to commercial. The PO2 zoning seemed to be the less appropriate zoning district and long-term use for a corner. That's a signalized corner. Little Road is a urban arterial, 6 lanes of travel, all turning movements at that intersection, turn lanes for every turning movement. Jasmine is an east-west collector with 2 lanes of travel, and then at the intersection, it widens for turn lanes for all directions. Jasmine connects from US 19 on the west all the way over to Hilltop Drive on the east, to the east of the site. A traffic needs assessment was performed by Pasco County for this case, and they found, that was done by your staff, that Little Road is currently operating well below its capacity, meaning the commercial development, if approved, would not negatively impact the operation of Little Road. And of course, as you all know, if this is approved and we apply for the rezoning, we would have to do a more detailed traffic study as part of the rezoning. We've already got that underway. When my clients, Castaigne LLC, purchased the site, there were 3 dilapidated houses on the property occupied by the homeless, in addition to a homeless camp, because the property was fairly overgrown and had really been abandoned by the previous owner. Since their purchase, my clients have demolished those 3 homes. They've started to clear the site, recognizes and there's more clearing to be done. Things got a little slowed down on this site due to the hurricane clearing that is being done so many other places that are really more important. The goal is to make the site attractive for development and become a property that will contribute positively to the county's tax base. If you would show that map, that would be helpful. Can you turn it so that State Road 52 is at the top? This is the exhibit that I passed out to you. It's a fairly simple exhibit. Nope, one more. Okay, thank you so much. So what I looked at was Little Road from State Road 52 to Ridge Road. It's a little over a 2-mile section. We're about a little more than, we're in the top third of that 2-mile section at this site. Along that 2-mile corridor, every single major intersection, as shown by the red stars, has commercial zoning, commercial plan category, or commercial uses. So clearly the pattern of a major intersection with the intersection of Little Road with another major road, the pattern is for commercial development at that corner. Those commercial corners are the intersections of the following streets. Starting on the north, State Road 52. The second one is Jasmine Boulevard. That's the site of this application. Directly opposite the plan amendment on the west side of Little Road is a Walgreens store with C1 zoning. Going further south, Grove Drive, Fox Hollow Drive, Embassy Drive, Hilltop Drive, Embassy Drive and Hilltop, one side, the west side it's called Embassy, on the east side of Little it's called Hilltop Drive, and then Ridge Road is the southern edge. Should also be noted that at 5 of these 6 intersections, commercial development is immediately adjacent to residential because your code has a variety of provisions to install buffering between those 2 uses. Your staff is recommending approval of the plan amendment and has found that the commercial plan category is appropriate for the site, stating on page 6, and I quote, "The COM land use designation is appropriate at this location pursuant to policy 1.6.2, and the subject site meets the location criteria for an amendment to COM FLU," end quote. The location criteria relates to COM being appropriate at major intersections of major roads, and that's exactly what you have here today. As I mentioned earlier, we will, if this is approved, we will pursue the C1 zoning with the deed restrictions that I've just talked about, the gas station, the self-storage, and the car wash, and of course the live local. Site's really not big enough for multifamily or any sort of residential development. I know this commission is well aware that the county has detailed regulations that must be met in order to receive permits and develop the site. These detailed county development regulations will hopefully result in an attractive commercial site with parking, driveways, landscaping, buffering, stormwater management, and it will transform these unoccupiable residential lots into a commercial site that will provide convenient neighborhood services and return the site to the county's tax roll in a positive manner, which it clearly is not today. We believe our commitment to request the C1 district with the deed restrictions that I've stated on the record will allow neighborhood commercial uses at the intersection while also protecting the residential properties. This site and these property owners should be eligible for the same commercial uses as exist on 5 other major intersections along this section of Little Road. We respectfully request your approval of the plan amendment, which is consistent with your comp plan. And I thank you for your time. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions.
Okay, board members. Lisa, did you have a
Yeah,
question?
I was just wondering, can we pull that up, like, so we can have an aerial view of that? I kind of want to see what it looks like.
That's why I always bring my iPad.
I know, I forgot it on the couch.
People see me on my iPad and I'm zooming in on
So,
satellite.
starting at the top where it says State Road 52, all 4 corners of that intersection have commercial.
No, I think she means the satellite screen.
Yeah,
She
satellite.
wants
An
to s-
aerial photograph, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
While we're waiting for that, Madam Chair, can I ask a question?
Sure.
So, Cindy, are you comfortable, as county attorney just said, if we did a sub-area policy, comments in there with no gas station, no car wash, no self-storage, and no live local, are you comfortable with that if we do it that way?
We can. I thought I was hearing that you all thought a deed restriction was the better way to do it, but if you feel the need for, the sub-area policy, whatever gets the job done to confirm what we're committing to, we will do that. We'd like to move forward today, if that's possible, or as quickly as possible, because we have already done the rezoning traffic study, we've done the environmental study, so we're trying to move forward if you all would agree to this today.
Would the sub-area policy hold you up if we had that written in? Or is there a lot to that?
I don't know. I would defer to the county attorney whether that would happen today or at a different meeting or.
That it would be put into the resolution or the ordinance that's being adopted. I don't see
Yeah,
that it
we
would
might
delay
have to make some
anything.
modifications to the ordinance, but it can be approved today if that's the question.
Okay, that's the question. Thank you.
So I understand it. There would be a sub-area policy like there are for other areas in the comprehensive plan, the future land use element, and those three uses and the live local would be prohibited uses on the site. Is that what we're talking about?
If the board wants to do this through a sub-area policy, yes, that would be the direction. I mean, could it be done through a deed restriction, and is that the more common way we do it? Yes, but it's really the board's prerogative.
Well,
I just want to make sure it's done. If you-
which way would you recommend?
I
If
can
the
tell you
board
that-
is concerned about having those uses available in the comprehensive plan, then the sub-area policy would be.
If you want to make sure that those assurances are committed to today.
Right.
It would have to be a sub-area policy.
Okay,
The deed restriction, we don't know when that's going to come.
right, okay. Yeah, I'd rather do it today, okay.
Any other questions while we're waiting for a map?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up on my phone right now.
Commissioner Oakley, any questions? Commissioner Waitman, do you have any questions? You almost got to speak.
Can we discuss this a little later if they're down, or?
Let's see.
You
it's
have public
coming.
comment left.
Okay.
They can,
We could take public comment and then come back to you, Lisa, if that
Okay.
works. Commissioner, okay.
We have one
There's an
person
aerial
signed up.
map I could put on the Elmo if you just want the specific area, Mrs. Commissioner?
Yeah, I wanted to see, like, where the residential was located, things like that, so.
That may or may not be live there. Why do we have this problem a lot? I feel like we need to dive in why we get disconnected a lot. That's a heads up for the guys. Is it the wiring? Loose wires?
While we're waiting too, I will tell you I think you're asking where is the residential in relationship to the site. It is to the east. Residential development exists to the east and to the southeast. To the north, it's vacant, and there's a plan amendment pending, hasn't come to you all yet, that's for residential and commercial. It's a much bigger lot.
Yeah.
The one person, there were two people who appeared at the planning commission. One of them was the resident who lives immediately adjacent to us on the north side of Jasmine, and she said she was okay with commercial, but she didn't want a gas station.
Okay.
And the other gentleman lives on Hilltop, which is a good third of a mile to the east, and then a little bit south on Hilltop. Hilltop runs north and south about a third of a mile east of the site, and he had concerns about generally commercial. And he may or may not, I'm not trying to speak for them, I'm just telling you what I recall from that hearing, if they may speak for themselves.
And we still have to hear public comment, right?
Yeah, we'll take public
Okay.
comment now, then we'll.
Thank you so
let-
much.
They can work on the map. Okay,
Wait.
has anyone signed up to speak beside Mr. Rose? And do we have anyone?
Alan Rose.
Do you have anyone online, or did you?
Good afternoon. Alan Rose, 10221 Hilltop Drive. In conjunction to this rezoning, something that wasn't brought aboard, or to the planning department is, this is part of Golden Acres. This is Golden Acres Phase 1, Lot 2. We do have, this particular lot, they did not mention that this parcel is currently designated as a wildlife sanctuary by our covenants, and you can see it. I provided you all a copy. It's in there, it's the last 2 pages of our covenants. They did not mention this parcel was part of Golden Acres Phase 1, Lot 2, with land covenants. They did not contact Golden Acres community. I did. They did not contact the abutting property owner, as stated. I did. The lady that was at the last meeting, she was 2 away. I went to the abutting property owner. He is not in favor of this rezoning. I went to our community members, and I've got numerous signatures that we do not want to see this rezoned to commercial. It will adversely affect our community and everything that we have there. Yes, there is, and that's why you see that. They misrepresented the property, stating only high-density commercial rezoning made sense. This is wrong. We have Driftwood Village, Timber Oaks, Jasmine Estates, Crane's Roost, and Golden Acres, all local and all on Little Road. You have all of these residentials on Little Road, right nearby. So when they're making this seem like it's all commercial, no, it's In this particular area, it's all residential. Jasmine, from Lakeview Drive west, 3 miles through Golden Acres Phase 1, there are 0 high-density commercial properties, just 1 pharmacy that's serving the community. Little Road, from Grove Street north, 3 miles to Star Trail, there are 0 high-density commercial developments, a church, a charter school, and a veterinarian, all to support our community, not high-density commercial. And please see the attached petitions I've provided, asking for the Board of County Commissioners to deny the rezoning required. It backs up everything I have said, and the community has signed off on this, denying this rezoning request. This is all of our residents, and they are located within Golden Acres, and we are asking that you deny this rezoning request. Everything's supposed to be on a minimum of 1 acre. And that's short and simple. If there are any questions, I'd be glad to provide it to you, but we have numerous signatures of all property owners and residents within Golden Acres, and we do not want to see commercial.
Mr. Rose, I'm looking at your paper that you gave us, and nowhere does it say what lot it's referring to.
That's Phase 1. It's in all of Phase 1. And that is Phase 1, Lot 2.
It doesn't say that. Nowhere does it say Phase 1, Lot 2.
Well, okay, I
So
can,
we can't really go by this. Of course,
and hang on, I have the originals over here.
and I don't even know if that's, do we
Well,
follow
it's a-
these, or?
No, these are deed restrictions on the property. It's the covenants and restrictions. It says they were recorded in 78. I don't know whether they've
They're
been.
good for 30 years, and then they were reaffirmed every 10 years thereafter, and no one has rescinded these. So they're still in operation.
Well,
And then I've also,
And
to show
that's
you.
and that's a civil matter between you and the property.
All right, so we would have to sue them when they decided to do this?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where if this is approved.
I mean, that's the deed restrictions bind the property owners. They don't bind government regulation.
Okay, and then this is a list of all the properties. These are all residential properties from, on Little Road, from Grove to Jasmine, from $1 million to 600,000, 300,000. Those are all on Little Road, abutting Little Road, coming up to this. Then you have all the long list of properties. That's from this property all the way up to Hilltop. And you can see all those properties from $1 million to 400,000. You know what you're going to do to our property values when you put a commercial, high-density commercial in our residential area? This is what I brought to you.
I have a question
Sure.
for staff. Can anybody tell me what this area looked like during, if it took on water for flooding in that area?
No, it's high.
Okay, thank you.
Our wetlands were all high.
That's high.
Our wetlands were all high, but the only place that had severe flooding was Bear Creek going under Osceola. And that's where this will also cause, if it's hardened up, will cause the water flow. It flows from Jasmine to Bear Creek and out Bear Creek. So everything from that side, that's how that water flow goes. So it will increase. And this is also, I had submitted something to you on regarding, it's an impaired waters, and that this type of development is not supposed to be occurring on communities with impaired water systems like we have.
Madam Chairman, just for the record, we would like, for the record, to tie the item that you just mentioned that was presented in earlier public comment to this particular, the hearing of this matter at this time.
Okay.
Would you like an extra? copy?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
just doing it of record.
All right,
so
thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to the board?
There's no one else signed up in
Okay,
advance.
and here's your map. It's on my screen. Is it on your screen? There it is. Okay, so is it possible to zoom in? Alan, you're done. Thank you very much. I can't tell which is the corner on this. I think it's, okay, so right across the street is the CVS? The Walgreens. I don't mind going ahead and speaking, and I would say, I don't agree with you that this is going to destroy your property values. What if it's a daycare? Is a daycare allowed there? Would a daycare be allowed in this zoning? Not you, Alan. You're done. Thank you.
Victoria Spitas.
You're finished.
Yes, daycare would be part of.
So
You could-
I would point out to you that we have a daycare right smack in the very middle of Starkey Ranch, and the residents find it a great, great benefit to them. So I think we've protected the residents with some of the uses that we've
Madam Chair.
kept out of it. Yes?
Before you go into commissioner comments, let's have the applicant rebut,
Okay. Do you want to rebut? Okay.
then you can go into discussion.
Okay.
Just very briefly, a couple of things. Number one, this is not high-density commercial. It's your neighborhood commercial district. It's the lowest intensity commercial district that you have, coupled with those deed restrictions that we've been talking about. Second of all, if we don't have neighborhood commercial in some proximity to residential, people have to drive too far, and that's the problem. Then you have more wear and tear on the roads, you have more impact on roads. You want people to be able to get to neighborhood commercial, go get a sandwich, go get a thing of milk, whatever you might need, and you want that close. Commercial and residential can clearly coexist next to each other. We see it all over the county. I showed an example of all places just in the vicinity on Little Road that it does. And then finally, I would just say that I think, maybe Mr. Rose is concerned about people leaving this site and going east on Jasmine and then going into the neighborhood. Honestly, there's no reason for them to do that because anyone that's going to want to go north or south is going to get back on Jasmine, go to the light, and turn north or south on Little Road. So I think, the impact on the neighborhood is extremely minimal. Again, with your buffers and all of your development requirements that are in place, we think it can be a good addition to the neighborhood. Thank you, and I'm, again, happy to answer any questions.
Another comment?
Yeah,
Nancy,
Commissioner
you
Mariano.
can reaffirm. One of the things in our conversation you talked about, there's actually even a homeless population that was in that property.
There was, yes,
That
sir.
you guys cleaned all that out as well as tearing down the homes.
Yes, sir.
And if anyone has questions, we'll go back to the board. But
Yeah, but I'm,
And they were living in the houses, they were living on the lots, because it's a pretty good size, a 3-acre property. It was fairly heavily vegetated, so it was a serious problem. My clients own the property, they're not under contract to purchase it, they've actually owned the property and pursuing the redevelopment of the site, and they've already done that work to clean it out. Yes, sir.
thank you. Yes?
Just as a follow-up on Commissioner Yeager's question, the property is extremely dry following the October 11th overflight.
And my client said that they did not have any flooding on the site.
Yeah,
from
it's
the-
pretty
as-
high there, I think.
Just
Commissioner
one point
Waitman?
of clarification, which is that we can do the Sudbury policy for the gas station, the mini storage, and the, what was the third one? I forgot.
Car wash?
Car washes. But live local is going to still have to be a deed restriction for legal reasons because we're preempted. So just wanted to make sure that was clear.
Okay.
Okay, so whoever makes the motion.
All right, so let me just have a little more conversation with it. So, very familiar with the neighborhood is a great neighborhood. It is a commercial corridor. I think taking out the gas station, car wash, self-storage, it provides for a good opportunity for something good to go in there to actually help the neighborhood. It's also going to help the major traffic going up and down Little Road. CVS is right across the street. Making this a less dense commercial, I think, is a good move for the area. I don't think it's going to hurt the area.
Agreed. Okay, well, does someone want to make a motion?
I'll move.
Do I have a
I'll
2nd?
second with further discussion.
Well, can you clarify with your motion that it includes the live local deed restriction?
No, so it would be,
Live local deed,
live local deed restriction is going to have to come back with the zoning,
oh,
but it excludes the car wash as a use.
Car wash, gas station, and
Self-storage.
self-storage.
And ambulance.
okay.
So with the gas station, car wash, and self-storage in the sub-area policy, I'm good
Well,
with
and
that.
if we could also, if we're doing Sudbury policies, we might as well also say that it's C1, will have to be zone C1 as well.
go with motion
Is that
maker?
your motion?
Yeah. I'm good with the seconder.
Okay. Roll call?
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Aye.
District 3, Chairman Starkey.
Aye. Okay. So are we on to 82? I don't know what you guys did, so. that right?
We have proof of publication of P82 in the Tampa Bay Times, October 27th of 2024.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item P82 is PDE 250020. This is an ordinance by the Pasco County Board of County Commissioners amending the Pasco County Land Development Code, Section 604 Northeast Pasco Rural Protection Overlay District, Figure 604-1, Northeast Pasco Rural Protection Overlay District boundary, Figure 604-2, Northeast Pasco Rural Scenic Roadways, Figure 604-4, limits to topographic alterations, and other sections as necessary for internal consistency, providing for applicability, repeal or severability, inclusion to Land Development Code, and an effective date. This item was first heard, this proposed ordinance to amend the Land Development Code was first heard on November 12, 2024. That was the first hearing. This is the second hearing. Therefore, the recommended board action is to accept public comment and adopt the proposed ordinance amendment by roll call vote and authorize the chair to execute the ordinance amendment. This is a Land Development Code amendment that is a companion to a recent future land use map amendment that was approved at the November 12, 2024 Board of County Commissioners meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Board members, any questions? Okay, is there anyone from the,
We have no one signed up in advance
okay?
or online.
Do we want to have a motion?
I'm in. Second.
Roll call vote.
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Aye.
District 3, Chairman Starkey.
Aye.
And just for the record, that was moving staff's recommendation.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We'll take more of those.
P83, we have proof of publication of the hearing of this matter in the Tampa Bay Times, November 13th, 20th, 27th, and December 4th, 2024.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item P83 is PDE 250039. This is an ordinance establishing the Angelene Community Development District pursuant to Chapter 190 Florida statutes, providing for authority and power of the district, providing for powers and duties of the district, providing for the Board of Supervisors of the district, providing for the district budget, providing for functions of the district, providing for miscellaneous provisions, providing for an effective date. This comes with a recommendation to adopt the ordinance by roll call vote and authorize the chair to execute the originals of the ordinance provided.
Okay, any questions? All right, is there anyone here to sign up to speak to this? These are CDD districts.
No one signed up or online.
Anybody in the audience wish to speak to this item?
Seeing no one, move approval. Second.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Aye.
District 3, Chairman Starkey.
Aye. P84.
P84, we have proof of publication supplemented by an affidavit of certified mailings and site postings. Publication Tampa Bay Times, October 2nd, 2024.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item P84 is PDE 250050. This is an ordinance to amend the comprehensive plan from Res 6 to IL. However, since the publication of the agenda, the applicant has requested a continuance to the January 28, 2025 Board of County Commissioners meeting at Newport Richey at 1:30 p.m.
I'll take a motion to continue.
This was published for
advers-
approval, so is
Yeah, I'm
there
looking.
anybody in the audience that wishes to speak to this item?
I don't see where it said.
There's no one signed up.
Okay,
Seeing none.
I move continuance.
roll call vote?
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Aye.
District 3, Chairman Starkey.
Aye. P85.
P85. Originally published on September 4th, 2024, and supplemented by affidavit of certified mailings for the October 22nd, 2024 board meeting, where it was continued to today.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item P85 is PDE 250051. This is an ordinance amending the Pasco County Comprehensive Plan, providing for a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment to the future land use map, map 2-15 and sheet 03, from ROR, retail office residential, to IL industrial light, on approximately 16.84 acres of real property located at the southeast corner of the intersection of Diagonal Road and New York Avenue, and providing for additional text amendments as necessary for internal consistency, providing for a repeal or severability and an effective date. This comes with the recommendation to approve the proposed comprehensive plan amendment and adopt the ordinance by roll call vote. And there's a presentation if so desired.
Board members, would you like to see the presentation?
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
So this is my district. This is actually a project I was familiar with, but when I saw Diagonal Road and the intersection of it, I got scared because I knew it was a dirt road. There's no access to the Diagonal Road, so I'm going to be fully supportive of this coming forward, but we already had a presentation on it, and that was the one question I had that couldn't quite get, but I got.
Okay? Because we moved this, right?
Yeah, we continued, but
All right.
I'm very comfortable with it.
So if there's no more questions, is there anyone here from the audience who wishes to speak to this item? Is there anybody online?
No one online.
I'll take a motion.
Move approval. Second.
Roll call vote.
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Aye.
District 3, Chairman Starkey.
Aye. P87.
Madam Chairman, would you
P86.
like us,
Oh, did I skip?
no, would you like us to start to do the
Oh, yes, let's do the
procedures and then
swear 'em
swear
in.
in? There are two rezoning agendas, regular and consent. Staff will present each application to the Board of County Commissioners. If staff or Planning Commission has recommended approval and there's no opposition, the application will be considered by the board without further presentation. If staff or Planning Commission has recommended denial, or if there is opposition to the application, the applicant will be given 5 minutes for presentation. The opposition will be given 3 minutes for each individual or 5 minutes for a group representative, and the applicant will be given 3 minutes for rebuttal. Any individual disagreeing with staff or Planning Commission recommendation, or anyone wishing to object to any condition of the rezoning, may at this time request the petition be pulled from the consent agenda, in which case that application will be heard under the regular agenda later on during the meeting. Otherwise, all rezoning applications on the consent agenda will be approved by a single motion and vote. If you wish to speak to any petition, please give your name and address and whether or not you've been sworn for the record. These are quasi-judicial public hearings. The law in Florida is that mere public support or opposition of an application is insufficient for this board to take action. Please limit your comments to those criteria found within the board's land development code. Mr. Clerk, would you like to swear the public in?
At this time, we'd ask that anyone who intends to speak to any of the rezoning items to please stand. Again, anyone who intends to speak or anticipates speaking to any of the rezoning items, please stand at this time and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you will give in these matters as the truth, so help you God? Please be seated. When you come forward to the podium for the matter, for the record, please indicate whether you have been sworn and state your name and address, and please spell your last name for us. Thank you.
P86.
P86, this item was originally published in the May 1st, 2024 edition of the Tampa Bay Times for the hearing on June 18th, 2024, where it was continued to August 21st, where it was continued to October 22nd, where it was continued to today.
And we're asking for a continuance today.
Yes, ma'am. This item P86 is PD 257783, It's a zoning amendment in the name of Dijon and Gordana Vujonovic. Change in zoning from AR with conditions to AR, agricultural residential district, and the recommended action is to continue to a date uncertain.
Do we need to take public comment? Nope. Okay, so, but I need a motion.
Move to continue time certain?
Time
Second.
uncertain.
Time uncertain, sorry.
What now?
I need a second.
Second.
I just second.
Roll call vote?
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Aye.
District 3, Chairman Starkey.
Aye. P87 is also a continuance.
P87 was continued, was originally published Tampa Bay Times, August 28, 2024, for the meeting October 22nd, 2024. Let me make sure I didn't say that incorrectly. It was published in the Tampa Bay Times, August 28th, 2024, for a meeting October 22nd, 2024, and continued to today.
Item P87 is PDE 257818. This is a zoning amendment in the name of HCM Hospitality LLC, which is a change in zoning from C2 General Commercial District to MF1 Multiple Family Medium Density District to an MF1 Multiple Family Medium Density District. This comes with a recommendation to continue the item to the January 28, 2025 Board of County Commissioners meeting at 1:30 p.m. in Newport Richey.
Move to continue time certain?
Second.
Roll call vote?
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
He said aye. Oh, no.
Got it. By online. District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Aye.
District 3, Chairman Starkey.
Aye. P88, which is on consent.
We have proof of publication, Tampa Bay Times, October 23rd, 2024.
Item P88 is PDE 250440. This is a development agreement for Watergrass MPUD Master Plan Unit Development by CKB Development LLC. Proposes modification to the development agreement for the Watergrass MPUD. This comes with an approval, a recommendation to approve the development agreement amendment and to authorize the chairman to execute the amendment.
Is there anyone to speak in opposition to this? Any questions here? Okay, we'll leave it on consent. P89?
Item P88, we have proof of publication, I'm sorry,
P89.
AP89. Proof of publication in the August 28th, 2024 edition of the Tampa Bay Times for the meeting of October 22nd, 2024, supplemented by affidavit of certified mailings and site posting. It was continued on the October meeting to today.
I'm
This
on
item
the
is-
wrong number, because I thought we did 88,
Yeah, this is 89.
89. Okay.
Okay. Can you do a little presentation?
We can?
Yeah.
Okay. Item P89 is PDE 257779. This is a zoning amendment in the name of Siddiq Rafat Ali. It's a change in zoning from a C1 neighborhood commercial district to a C2 general commercial district in south central Pasco County on the southwest corner of the intersection of Black Lake Road and Geneva Drive, which contains approximately 0.57 acre. We have Liam Devine, Planner 2 with Planning Development Economic Growth, who will make the presentation.
Do you want to take that off of consent and do a
Well, I guess,
presentation? or just-
No, I was just questioning the number. I thought.
well, I have a question,
Different
because it's in my
number.
district, and this is a result of a code violation.
So you're pulling it?
Yeah, I probably need to pull it.
Okay, go on the next one now.
Okay, P90?
P90. P90 was published in the Tampa Bay Times, July 24th, 2024, supplemented by affidavit of certified mailings and site postings for the September 17th, 2024 meeting of the Board of County Commissioners, where it was continued to October 22nd, 2024, where it was continued to today.
Item P90 is PDE 257810. This is a zoning amendment in the name of 52 Realty LLC / SR 52 Realty It's a change in zoning from an AR Agricultural Residential District to AR Agricultural Residential District, PO2 Professional Office, and C2 General Commercial District in west central Pasco County on the south side of State Road 52, approximately half-mile west of Land O'Lakes Boulevard, containing approximately 8.84 acres. This comes with the recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners to adopt the zoning amendment and authorize the chairman to execute one original of the resolution.
Okay, I have one question on this, and I'm not sure if it's this property, but there's some property over there that has Kogan grass on it. Before this gets developed, will that Kogan grass be dealt with in the proper form? If this is that property that has it?
Might as well pull it.
I'll just, if she can say that they are gonna make that as part of the record or whatever.
Barbara Wilhite, 6327 Grand Boulevard, for the applicant. I think I learned at Planning Commission that you already have regulations in your LDC to deal with said Kogan grass on people's projects, so we will comply with the code.
Okay, I've got it.
So, thank you.
Can let my staff know someone needs to go look at it, because we've started developing in some land on 52 that has Kogan grass in it. Okay. This is on consent. Does anyone in the public want to speak to this?
Anybody in opposition?
In opposition? Any
Seeing
board members?
none, seeing none, leave it on consent.
Yep, we'll leave it on consent. P91.
P91, proof of publication October 22nd, 2024, supplemented by affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
Item P91 is PDE 257821. This is a zoning amendment in the name of Patricia S. Derrimer / Massachusetts Commercial. It's a change in zoning from a C2 General Commercial District specific use for a commercial nursery and MF1 multiple family medium density district to a C2 General Commercial District in the southwest part of Pasco County on the south side of Massachusetts Avenue, approximately 960 feet west of Rowan Road, containing approximately 2.80 acres. This comes with a recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners to adopt the zoning amendment.
And does this have the live local restriction on it if we're going to C2?
Yes.
Okay. Board members, any questions? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to this? Okay, we'll leave it on consent.
P92, published in the Tampa Bay Times. Notice was published in Tampa Bay Times October 2nd, 2024, supplemented by affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
Item P92 is PDE 257830. This is a zoning amendment in the name of Coastal Life Investments LLC. It's a change in zoning from a MF2 multiple family high density district to a R4 high density residential district in the northwest of Pasco County on the west side of the intersection of Marina Drive and New Jersey Avenue, containing approximately 0.97 acre. And this comes with a recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners with an adoption to adopt the zoning amendment.
Questions? Is there anyone here to object to this? All right, seeing none, we'll leave it on consent. And,
P93 is consent
P93?
also.
okay,
P93, published in the Tampa Bay Times, October 23rd, 2024, supplemented by affidavit of certified mailings and site postings for today.
Item P93 is PD 257836. This is a zoning amendment for a substantial modification to the Watergrass MPUD by CKB Development LLC. This is a rezoning request to substantially modify the Watergrass MPUD to amend the Promenade Business Center uses and to allow for the donation of a library site to Pasco County. This comes with a recommendation to approve with conditions and is the companion zoning action to the development agreement that was heard earlier.
board members, any questions? Is anyone here in opposition to this? Seeing none, we'll leave it on consent. I'll take a motion for the consent minus, is that P90?
Move on consent items. Second.
89.
89, P89. Okay, roll call vote.
I didn't hear a second. Did you all hear a
Second,
second?
right in. Second down there.
Okay, got it. All right. District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Aye.
District 3, Chairman Starkey.
Aye. Could you please go to the, do you have a presentation? I do. Okay, let's see the presentation. Then I want to see it on the Google Maps.
William Devine, Planning Development and Economic Growth Department. For P89, PDE 25-7779. It is a Euclidean zoning amendment from C1 Neighborhood Commercial District to C2 General Commercial District. The future land use classification is ROR under the comprehensive plan, and the applicant proposes to develop the property with a U-Haul truck rental business in conformance with C2 General Commercial District standards and Section 1101 Vehicle Dealership and Lane Development Code regulations. The subject site is located in the southwest corner of the intersection of Black Lake Road and Geneva Drive. Located in the South Market area and urban service area. Here is our context map so you can see the area.
Okay.
And our zoomed in aerial. And I will note, before moving on, there was a code violation. On November 16th, 2023, the applicant was issued a Pasco County ordinance violation for operating a U-Haul business without an approved site plan for commercially zoned parcels. In addition, the U-Haul business is not an allowed use under the existing C1 zoning. So the approval of the C1 rezoning would allow the applicant to submit an application for a site plan, and if approved, would bring the property into conformance.
Did you mean C2 zoning?
C2 zoning. So it's
Because you
currently
said
C1 right
approval
now.
of C1.
Yeah, so they would have to have approval for C2, and then they would actually have to have an approved site plan to actually have that use.
Okay.
Because you do have supplemental regulations in
Yes.
1101 that they have to conform to.
Well, that was my question.
Yes.
So what we're doing now is getting the right zoning, and then they're going to have to put in the buffering and the
Correct, and go through the site plan.
fencing and.
Correct,
Because it's not the most attractive. That road needs a little attention.
yes. So the surrounding future land use to the north is ROR and PD, to the east is ROR, and to the south is Res 3, and to the west is ROR. The surrounding zoning. To the north is AC, R1MH, and MPUD. To the east is R1MH and R2. To the south is R1MH, and to the west is R1MH and C2. The subject site consists of a convenience store and a U-Haul truck business on approximately 0.57 of an acre. Access to the property is from Black Lake Road and also from Geneva Drive. There is no adjacent trails, and the applicant has voluntarily agreed to record a deed restriction addressing live local concerns, and this is coming with a recommendation for approval of the zoning amendment from Planning Commission and Planning, Development, and Economic Growth Department.
Do they plan on using that existing building, which I think used to be like a store, right? It was
It used to be a convenience store.
yeah, convenience store.
That would be a question from the applicant, but I believe that's their intent. Because they still have a convenience store business, and they currently have only a couple U-Hauls that they would like to rent from out there. So it
Is
would
that
be using
store
it.
up to code?
Well, since code compliance was out there and they did not cite them for that, I would assume it would be, but I don't know. I don't believe there's any current code violations
It's,
other than the one for the permitted use violation.
okay, so the store is staying, they're just adding the storage of, what happens?
Allowing the U-Haul business.
Okay, so here's my standard question, because you know I'm all about aesthetics. What happens to the parking lot and the parking lot landscaping and the signage and all those things?
So they would have to come in to meet all of the new landscaping codes that would be required when they have the U-Haul business. So they would have to go back through that process. I believe that, and I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but I believe that convenience store came in before a landscaping ordinance. So that building was permitted before we had a landscaping ordinance.
But now we're changing it.
Yes.
So now it's going to have to come into,
To compliance when they submit their site plan.
okay. I just want that on record. Is that the applicant back there? Just want y'all to know that. I think that's the applicant, that we're going to get that cleaned up. So, okay, well, those were my questions. Is there anyone in the public that wishes to speak to this? A question on stormwater. Are they going to have to comply with that as well? Because there is nothing, I don't think this was built before there was any stormwater regulations. Will that be part of the site plan?
Yes.
Okay.
But if they're not increasing impervious surface, they wouldn't be
Correct.
required to change their stormwater system.
Correct.
Okay.
But it is reviewed at site plan review for stormwater.
Okay,
But I'm just flagging to the
Yes.
commissioner
Okay,
that
yeah.
they may be grandfathered on that issue.
okay. All right, and there was no one else to speak to this, so I would take a motion?
Mr. Starkey,
Yeah.
do you want to do something with drainage, though? Can we add something?
Can you drop a pin on this site and let us look at it from Google Earth?
And I'd call for public comment again, because
Okay.
you
and I'll-
pulled it off
I,
of consent.
All right. Well, I thought I did, but again, is there anyone that else that wants to speak to this? I think we have other code violations on that road that, are you working with other property owners on that road? We can talk about that another time.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're the only one.
Thank-
And I'm thinking of Renado's, where their restaurant used to be on the corner there of Black Lake and, I don't remember what it's called now. Chesapeake, maybe?
Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner?
if we approve this, then they will have to comply to what landscape review and all that comes back in compliance, but not necessarily stormwater.
That's what,
If they don't change any of the surfaces, stays the same,
drop a
then
pin on
they
the.
wouldn't be
on
required to have any stormwater.
the- In front of this property.
Depends
which is
on,
Over to the right, Geneva.
to answer the commissioner's question, it will depend on what approvals they have.
Other way.
But was concerned with the line of questioning the commissioner was going down, that if they're not changing impervious surface and they have a valid swift mud permit, they might not make any changes to the.
Right, okay.
Wow, where there is no pervious, is there?
It's all pavement.
Well, no, we can't do that. What's going on? Is that okay. Well, there's sign violations on the building, we can see that. What do you want to do about stormwater? There's nothing we can do? I mean, you're not allowed to. Is that something you guys can work on?
Should we hear from the
Commissioner
applicant?
Mariano?
Should we hear from the applicant?
Can we see a little bit more to the right as well? Can you swing it around? Someone has filled in the entire lot, and we've got this piece over here. And it has a non-conforming sign. Okay.
Brad Tippin, Planning Development, Economic Growth. They do have to come in for a site plan that will include some of that stormwater. They'll have to show what's happening on the site, so we'll take a look at it and see if there's any way we can possibly improve it within reasonable means without violating any grandfathering they might have.
And you'll look at when it became paved, the site became paved, because it may have been paved after it was built? Through Google, you can look at that through Google Earth through the years. Yeah. But we want all those sign violations cleaned up too.
Mr. Starkey?
Yeah.
How was the flooding in that area?
Well, the lake in the back has some issues sometimes, but and it flows to the north.
I think we should have some drainage. You have no drainage there whatsoever,
Yeah, I think they're going to have to look at that.
but they're not going to be able to. They just said it.
Well, if we can,
They can do other things, but they can't change the drainage requirements that are there now.
No, what I said was I don't know what their old approvals are, but if all that impervious surface is pre-regulation.
we can look right now.
It's likely that you couldn't address it. This is a C2 zoning, so it's Euclidean, so you can't stipulate it either.
Well, I'll tell you what, when
But
did
it-
Swift Mud come into being? When did those regulations start?
78?
Okay, can you go to you know how to go to the map and look at
85?
at 1985? Can we look at the property from 1985? And you can do that on Pasco map or maybe easier.
So there's going to be a lot to look at here.
Yeah.
There's a big chunk of state right-of-way across the front there. Facilities owns a big chunk across the back, so some of the
Wait,
green space.
wait,
that
the
you
state
see-
right-of-way was given back to us.
Okay, county, not
Yeah, so it's
them.
county right-of-way, if there was any on the
Right,
property.
not there.
But that doesn't mean that we filled it in.
Correct, but it's just going to be a lot of moving parts that we'll need to look at to try and figure out this drainage situation. But we will look at that when they bring the site plan in. We'll try and get it figured out, see what we can do.
Sheriff Starkey?
Yes, Commissioner Waitman.
Thank you.
Maybe we need
I'm
to continue.
concerned that we're going down a rabbit hole here and, this business may not be able to afford all these improvements that that this board's talking about. And I'm concerned with that. This business has been around a long time, and I've seen the picture. It's 2 U-Haul trucks. And I don't know, I'm not so sure that the juice may be worth the squeeze for this business. So, I mean, that business has some financial decisions they have to make with regard to their business. And I'm just not comfortable putting them in a position that may harm them, especially if they're not in the room. I'm concerned they may not fully understand what's being talked about here and the price tag on it. So that's all.
Yeah, and it's their choice if they want to continue. If they want to continue in the U-Haul business, they're going to have to change their zoning, and that comes with rules. So it's to the east of this.
The other side.
It's Geneva and Black Lake.
Move approval.
Well, hang on one second. Okay, so
So,
14530.
Chair Starkey, so for clarity, if the zoning is approved today and they get the new zoning and then they abandon the U-Haul business, they may not necessarily have to go in and do all this work. They can make a business decision. Does this zoning require them to make a significant business decision? Or will they still be able to operate as they are and just axe the U-Haul buses, the
1985.
trailers?
Liam Devine, Planning Development Economic Growth Department. Commissioner Waitman, you are correct. The rezoning today approves that use as a permitted use, but it's only allowed once they have an approved site plan following the regulations. So if the rezoning is approved today and then they decide not to move forward with the site plan, they wouldn't have to make those improvements and they can operate the business as is because that use that's currently on the property will still be permitted.
All right, thank you for the clarification.
So they would be able to get like
They'll
a
make
quote or something like that, right, before, to let them make their decision?
Correct, before they submit a site plan.
Okay, so
They
even
will-
if they
they
make
will-
the change, they have the choice not to do it?
Correct.
Okay.
They will be able to make a business decision, and that'll be up to them if they want to go forward, and if they have to put a stormwater pond in,
Pick one of
then
those
they'll have to
years.
do that to go into that extra business, so
You can go to 2001.
I move approval.
Hang on one second, because we want to see. 14530. Okay, now, can you get on the, oh, okay. I think you have some more research to do on this parcel. It's
But
14530.
those are all site planning decisions
Yeah.
that are administratively made. The question before the board is whether or not they want to intensify the zoning from C1 to C2.
And is the applicant here? And I want to make sure they're understanding what we're saying. You want to come on up? Okay.
Good afternoon. Yes, you have questions? My name is Siddiqui Rafat, R-F-A-T, last name Siddiqui, S-I-D-D-I-Q-U-I.
Okay.
I come out of 14530 Black Lake Road and Odessa, Florida 33556. I opened store 1989, before 54 running. And I do well is business starting U-Haul when no have nothing. This area, 441 to I work for when I 21 years old. Come to right there, open business, and I never know zone 1 and zone C, zone A is in, I never know that. When I have a convenience store, gas station, I purchase hard work and done. And when 23, fire department, the guys come out and they say, you have violation, you know. She give me violation for the thing, you know what I mean, this sign and this, somebody complained, I don't know what happened, and she come, stop by, and she give me 27 violation. And I ask him to ladies, what kind of violation you give me to me? And she say, you look at it. I say, 23, maybe this, okay, banner is not allowed to, I go to move. You know, so when you mention to me which violation, hand over for me, you know. And she left. And after she come out, check everything, maybe whatever she gave me time, 7 days, and she come out, look at it, drop the whole violation, she left the one violation. And after she come back again, and she, everything, you have U-Haul here. I say, I have U-Haul long time ago, no today, you know, before jungle. Whole 54 jungles, you know, so no, you know that too, you know, so 90, so let us see, give me starting here, you have a 7 days move to U-Haul, so how's I go survive, you know, so that's the reason I say I can survive 7 days, you know, she said, well, you apply for zone C2, you know, there is zone 2, and I never know the computer was smart, you know, same you people do, you know what I'm saying, so she said, no, you apply for, zoning people asking you something, you respond to, you know, so you get a plenty, 120,000, 120,000 something, you know what I mean? So you did a violation. So later, I said, well, I just find it, some my friend helped me out to how to go change zoning. Zone is 2, you know, that's the reason I come to here. And U-Haul right now is big 54 already open, big U-Haul company too. Yeah. I still no make money. I have 3 kids and wife. I come to Pakistan to here, 21 years old. Now is people falling my leg. You understand that? This is I this only survive for U-Haul. Now I'm no survive U-Haul either. You understand what I mean? So how's I feeling to here? I pay for tax. Legally I do everything. And what do? One ladies complain about it and give me, I never sleep either. $129,000 fine for what I did. I don't kill nobody. I know they're a murderer. I know selling drug. You know what I mean? So this way I look like, look like, this is not right.
I'll say I'm a small business owner too, and we have U-Haul on our property, and you really don't make a whole lot of money.
No,
So we have.
No, but no customer. 54 already killed me, 2002. Right. You know what I mean? Now it's still neighborhood a little bit, guys. Used to I'm making, now I'm not making U-Haul money either.
Right.
What he's saying is, so Black Lake Road was State Road 54.
Right,
so he used to be right on State Road 54, and now he's in the back of it.
Right, back
I want to let you know, and Mr. Engel is sitting over there, is that depending on what you want to do, and you have to follow the law. We can't change the law for you. But I want you to know, we have some grant money where we can maybe be able to help you with some things.
We appreciate that. Thank you. That's all I need.
So,
I need a little bit help, something, you know. I have to survive for my family. And with this, something in U-Haul, I'm not renting. Used to have more rent truck, but now he have 1 year, 2 truck. Why? There's 54 open, big land, you already know. And I don't making nothing money either. So what I go to selling right there? Drug, you know. There's no have nothing to do. Convenience store have you fall down sign. Nobody county guys look at it. Nobody supposed to help me thing, you know. And you rent a restaurant right there too, you know. I live right there with 3 kids.
So let me ask my county attorney, what is the law and what do we need to do?
As I said, if the board believes that C2 is the appropriate zoning for this property, then you need to rezone it.
If he wants to continue with the U-Hauls, do we have?
He has to have C2.
You have to have C2. That's what I'm trying to say here.
That's the reason I come to
And what that's going to trigger is some other things by law. There's not things, we can't make up the rules just for you.
I agree with
But
you.
we will work with you.
Yes, I'm working. That's the reason I come to here. I'm working on it, you know. So that's the reason I come to here, and you have figure out what I need to do best for me, you know, and best for everybody, you know.
Mr.
I'm a
Ali?
little worried we're opening a can of worms here, but
Mr. Lee, just for the record, were you sworn?
Yes.
Were you sworn earlier today?
Yes.
yes.
Very
that sounds
good.
I did.
Thank you.
I do the true, I'm 1989 to 35 years. Now I'm 60 years old going to now, and still I'm running convenience store, Don't have a gas station or nothing. Hurricane coming, everything problem come, I provide to help people, and making 3 times on the table food.
Okay, David, did you want to say anything, or did you just want to meet with him after? Okay. All right. Okay, Mr. Oakley, you made a motion?
Yes.
I'll second further discussion.
Okay, discussion.
So I would like to see as he comes forward, David, when you work with him, and Brad.
too.
I like where you're going with landscaping grant for landscaping.
And maybe
Let
a
him-
sign
let him- Let him
help.
apply for that. Whatever we can do to improve drainage, let's go do that, but it might help with the buffer the back a little bit too, so more landscaping there would be better, and the site could look a lot better coming up for him.
And you know what? When you put landscaping in, it helps with drainage
Yes.
too, so. Okay, anyone else wish to speak to this item?
Chair, Chair Starkey.
Yes, Seth.
Thank you, ma'am. So if this goes to C2, I mean, this store's clearly in a residential neighborhood. If we go to C2 without any restrictions on it and say he decides to sell the property, I mean, I'd be afraid of what might come here in the future in the middle of a residential neighborhood with everything that the straight C2 zoning allows.
It's, Commissioner Waitman, let me tell you first, it's not in a residential neighborhood. This is Old State Road 54 frontage. There's another road behind it, and then the residential area starts. But across the street from it is where that development, I don't know where it is in this stage, but it has a furniture store, there's a hotel, there's restaurants, I think a drive-through coffee shop of some sort. So that, yeah, yeah, this is from 1995 right here, I think. So across the street is commercial development. And if you were, the whole front of this area, it's all commercial, but it's an area that, and what this gentleman's talking about is they did a sweep down this road because a lot of these properties have violations on them, so. But it's not residential.
Okay.
But he does have the question of C2, do we have a live local deed restriction? And is there any other deed restriction that we need, Liam? So,
The only deed restriction on this one is live local.
so it's not very big. I don't see it becoming,
0.57.
yeah, so I think we're safe there for the community because Seth does bring up a point with C2.
Madam Chair?
Yeah.
I think just they showed the zonings earlier, there's just a couple of blocks up. There's like 2 C2s up there.
Yes. And there's light industrial further up too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we were under discussion. Roll call vote.
Could we clarify the motion for the
We're
record,
approving
please?
staff's recommendation.
Motion, and Jack second, I believe.
No. Are you clear on the motion? Okay. District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager. Aye. District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Aye.
District 3, Chairman Starkey.
Aye. Okay. Where are we now?
P94.
P94.
P94, we have proof of publication of the hearing of this matter in the November 6, 2024 edition of the Tampa Bay Times, supplemented by an affidavit of certified mailings and site postings.
Good afternoon, Brad Tippin, Planning Development Economic Growth. This is PDE 25-CU06. It's a mining operating permit and conditional use amendment request for K&M mine expansion, mining operating permit, conditional use permit amendment for an existing sand and lime rock mine with no blasting in an AC agricultural and AR1 agricultural residential zoning district. Northwest Pasco County on the south side of County Line Road, approximately 3,200 feet west of the Suncoast Parkway, containing approximately 149.8 acres. I do want to note, we did have, my understanding is they had meetings with all of the different commissioners. I don't know, some of those were recent. I don't know if the clerk's office got all of the ex partes on those. Okay. What's that? No presentation? All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Board members, do you have any questions?
Does the board want a presentation?
Oh, do you need a presentation? This is not a blasting mine. This is a dragline mine. This is an expansion of an existing mine. Am I correct?
Correct. This is an
Yes.
expansion of the existing mine. It is dragline. There was one email that we received of concern from a neighbor before the planning commission, but when we looked at that and the timing of it, it was concerns about vibration that appears to have been related to, not to the mining itself, but to the actual paving they did of their entrance road when they were compacting for the paving. So that wasn't actually related to the mine. I'm not aware of any other objections to that.
And I personally listened to the planning commission meeting, so I saw your presentation, the presentation. I know there was discussion of possibly moving the Vision Road. Is that still, no matter what we do here today, that's still a possibility of moving that road?
Yes, there will likely be another amendment to this in the future. There's another piece of property that's owned by the same entity, and it's just a little bit more complex. There's some opportunities to do some good things with that property, so we didn't want to bring that in now, because that's going to take a little bit of time. Right now, we know that lime rock is in short supply. It's needed for all the different construction things that are going on, so we wanted to get this through as quickly as possible.
Is this
You have a
commissioner?
presentation now.
I have a presentation now.
I don't know if we need it. I don't need it.
We just said it all, I think.
Commissioner Oakley, do you need a presentation?
I don't need a presentation.
Commissioner Waitman, you? No, okay. All right, so is there anyone in the public that wishes to speak to this item?
The lady back in the back.
And we have one, ma'am.
Okay, well, I can't see her, so
Ask her.
this is your time. Oh, yeah, the applicant, we'll let you speak, I guess, we'll let you speak.
Are we going to put it on a map or something for you?
Jack, maybe this is a county park when he's done?
Madam Chair, Clark Hobby, Hobby and Hobby, PA 109 North Breast Street, Tampa, Florida. I've been sworn. I'm going to just reserve the balance of my time so I can hear what our neighbor might have to say, and then I'll chat with you all then.
Okay.
Thanks.
Ma'am, if you would come forward. Please give us your name and address for the record and spell your last name.
Pastor Jen Kerouac, 15925 Green Glen Lane, Spring Hill, Florida. Thank you for your time. I had some concerns about this as I went through it. I mean, there is a concern that, the way that this would be transported, each of those roads are at max capacity, my opinion. I go there, I drive through that area every day. I don't know about anyone else, but I definitely drive through that area every day. Some of the things that stood out to me that were of concern with regards to the community meeting, and just being honest, I've been, doing research and at this for a couple years now and have learned a lot, but I think the reality of it is that this is, way far beyond certainly my pay grade and beyond most of the neighbors, understanding of what's going to happen. And there are concerns with regards to the way that the sand, the limestone would be transported. In addition to that, as I was looking at the community meeting summary, it says after an extensive discussion, most attendees seemed pleased. And then it says again, did not appear to object to the proposed conditional use permit, which isn't necessarily an absolute that everyone understood. And again, this is very confusing information. The other thing that I wanted to say, and I brought this before, and my concern remains the same, is that when I take a look at Florida state statute, those proposed ordinance or zoning changes that are 10 contiguous acres or more, that there shall be 2 advertised public hearings on the proposed ordinance or resolution. And in my experience, shall means must. It doesn't mean maybe. It doesn't mean if you feel like it.
This isn't a county-initiated zoning. This is an applicant-initiated.
It doesn't state that it says other than county initiated. That's how the statute reads when I read it. And then again, it states that it should not be in legal advertising space in the local newspaper, and it appears to be that that's where this was advertised. And again, my concern is that, and Commissioner Mariano knows this to be true, that people reach out to me because they're not able to attend, and I do have the support of my congregation and the people in the community that I am able to come and present their concerns. And this is a major concern. There's like all kinds of things going on County Line Road. There's residential development on both sides of the road. And then, you know, you put this as an expansion in the middle, and there are concerns that this just doesn't make sense. So I'm presenting what was brought to me, the things that I'm seeing. There is still a request of the community, at least the ones that have reached out to me, and I have a concern because there's other residents who have unfortunately, you know, placed their confidence in the decisions that are made, and there's a lot that comes forward. So I don't, you know, minimize that. There is a lot that comes forward, but the concern that, you know, the things that happen outside of this meeting, the things that are presented outside of this meeting, you know, that end up not potentially being in their best interest. We had a situation recently close to the church on Crella Drive, and there's a residential easement being used as a road for commercial dump trucks in this moment to support the development in the neighboring property. And so, you know, that is where I would just ask that you certainly consider that when at a minimum there are 10 or more acres, that you would consider a meeting after 5 p.m. To the public. Thank you.
Thank you. And our county attorneys check the statutes on that, requirements for
Let's-
10 acres. Clark, and
I'll-
maybe,
I'll read it to the board. Ordinances or resolutions initiated by other than the county that change the actual zoning map designation of a parcel or parcels of land shall be enacted pursuant to subsection 2. If you go back to subsection 2, it is the normal ordinance adoption process.
okay, so that settles that one. Rebut?
Madam Chair, Clark Hobby again, just for the record, this isn't even a zoning change, it's a conditional use permit. So it doesn't even apply, the statutes he's reading. Just want to make sure the board understands and our community understands as well. Mine was approved in 2009, and we have only ever had one access out of the site. That's our paved access out onto an arterial roadway, County Line Road. And that's where our access has to be. The haul route is delineated on our mining plans, and it's required in our conditional use permit conditions. We have not so much as offered to change that over time because we don't think it's appropriate to go to the south where our neighbors are. We did hold the community meeting in accordance with the Land Development Code, and I stand by my summary that I wrote of it. And for the record, if there were significant numbers of people objecting from the community meeting, you would assume they would be here, and they are not. So they weren't at the Planning Commission. So I'm happy to answer any other questions, but I feel this mine has been in operation and done a good job for many years now, and this is a logical place to expand it.
So Clark, this sand mine, we had some on our ranch back in the day. This goes to build roads?
It does, and the limestone is used to build roads. The county needs it. We're actually completely out of sand right now, and that's part of the application is to increase the volume of sand to be extracted and the limestone.
Yeah, so this is.
Madam Chair, I think Commissioner Oakley may have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Commissioner Oakley.
Clark, the fact of it is, you're asking for this more material to come out of this mine.
Right.
Because you're going deeper.
Right.
And you're gonna do that without blasting, and you're gonna do it with a drag line.
That's right.
And the fact of it is, you're not gonna double up the amount of trucks coming through here. You're still gonna keep basically the same number of trucks moving, but you got more material to move out of this mine.
That's right, and because of the way the term works, there really shouldn't be a significant increase in the truck traffic out of the site. But we already built the turn lanes many years ago to serve the mine, so, and our traffic analysis shows that they're appropriate for what we're taking out. One last thing, I don't think I need to enter into the record, but just for the public to know, we did have Geosonics come out and monitor our sound from the site within the last month, and they've done that several times leading up to permit changes on the mine over time. And we don't even violate with our regular operating equipment the nighttime regulations, even without a berm. So we don't present any, problems with noise. We have direct access to an arterial roadway. This is what you need to be doing when people meet, the community, meaning the government and the development community and homeowners in general, need more sand and they need more limestone. This is a logical way to do it.
And maybe one day this will go to widen Shady Hills Road and County Line Road, so, and the trucks won't have to travel very far.
That's right.
Commissioner Mariano.
Yes, Madam Chair. In these years, I've had complaints over on 41.
Yeah.
With the lime rock mines there, between blasting and everything else. I haven't heard hardly anything with this whatsoever. To do this expansion, I think, keeps the price down of materials, supply and demand. So the more supply we have, the better chance we have to get better pricing to go build, as we're trying to do County Line Road as well, and Shady Hills Road, and any other road as well. So I'm going to move this to approve.
Second.
And under discussion, as I mentioned to Clark, wouldn't this be awesome if, when they're done, it can become a county park? Because I doubt that Mr. Colley wants to, Khalil?
Right.
Wants to continue to take care of it when he's done excavating. So with that, it's a roll call vote.
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye. District
4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Aye.
District 3, Chairman Starkey.
Aye. Okay, P95.
P95, we have proof of publication of the hearing of this matter in the Tampa Bay Times, November 27th, 2024. If I may, ma'am, back to P94.
Yes.
For the record, we only have ex parte forms filed from Commissioner Mariano.
Oh, I think I had a meeting yesterday, so it must be with my staff, Clark, my expertar.
We sent it in, it just hasn't made its way to the.
Okay.
What it was
Okay.
yesterday.
We sent them all in.
Good morning, afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Commissioners. Jerry Williams, Public Infrastructure, Fiscal Business Administration Department. And today I have PIFPA 250083, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, dissolving Highlands Municipal Benefit Unit, consisting of 7 distinct units as of December 31st, and providing for an effective date and applicability. But today we'd like to withdraw this item and renotice in the next calendar year.
What happened?
Madam Chairman, this is dissolving by resolution an ordinance.
Oh, we don't have a resolution.
So we need to bring it back as an ordinance.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we need
You need
any
a motion?
motion or anything? Any public comment?
I mean, we can ask for if there's anybody here for this item, since it was a public hearing item, but.
Okay. All right. There's no one here, so we'll go on to P96.
P96, we have proof of publication of the hearing of this matter in the Tampa Bay Times, October 23rd and 30th of 2024.
Good afternoon, Nicholas Laffis, Real Property Division. The Real Property team has received a petition to vacate a platted right-of-way filed by the Florida Department of Transportation. The petitioners seek to vacate approximately 100 feet by 61 feet of undeveloped platted right-of-way. The purpose of the vacation is to allow for FDOT Road right-of-way improvement project 4475362 for US 301 from South US 98 to Hernando County line. Vacating the undeveloped platted right-of-way will not adversely impact any other parcels. There were no objections to this petition, and the Real Property team recommends approval. And I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with how to click this to advance the presentation. But there is a map demonstration right there. So that portion in red would be the portion that would be vacated. And actually, FDOT owns the land all up and south of it, northwest and south. To the east side is the still dedicated platted right-of-way that would remain. And there wouldn't affect any, there was no objections, no property owners objected, and utilities had one issue, and it was worked out with FDOT aluminum.
Okay, is there any board members have any questions? Waitman, no? Anyone here wishing to speak to this item? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
Move approval.
Second.
Oh, that's funny. Roll call vote?
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Aye.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Aye.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Aye.
District 5, Commissioner Mariano.
Aye.
District 3, Chairman Starkey.
Aye. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I was gone, but do we still have Ralph? I'm guessing you didn't get to Ralph? Okay, R3, is it R3?
I haven't signed those yet.
Yes, Madam Chair, we didn't want you to miss me. Good afternoon, Ralph Lair, Intergovernmental Affairs Officer. You have the items we're about to discuss before you.
And no lobbyists here to give us guidance.
Unfortunately, they are not. They were here earlier today, but unfortunately, two of our lobbyists had to go to other delegation meetings. So they have left us. So where are we in the legislative process? So November 13th, we had our legislative workshop. We went through our policies. We got through those, added a few. Couldn't get through our appropriations, though. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. Next Monday, December 16th, we have a workshop with our Pasco County legislative delegation. So we need to really be prepared what we have for that meeting with them on Monday. January 7th, the Pasco County of 2025 Pasco County Legislative Delegation meeting will be occurring. This part of our workshop, so we don't have to be there. The only reason we'll actually have to be at the delegation meeting is to do our local bill, which is under one of our policies, and then the regular session starts March 4th. What was that? So as I mentioned at our workshop, we did go through and we moved forward with our policy proposals, the county inmate medical costs, the 911 fees, the fuel taxing index, the pedestrian safety driver requirements, live local, and then we had added code enforcement anonymous complaints and the Nature Coast Aquatic Preserve. So currently we have 23 funding initiatives and 2 new initiatives. We need to pare this down and prioritize our projects in preparation for our discussion with our delegation members on Monday. So what we did was after that workshop, the county administrator went back with leadership. We sat down and we looked at these projects, and he said, let's prioritize them. Let's kind of rank these projects and focus on A, being hurricane recovery and resiliency projects. And then B, these are normally funded projects that you'll see every year. And then C, projects that we can hold off on and do possibly next session, but really don't need to be moved forward this year. So we did that, and we gave them again an A, a B, and a C category. So we have our priority A projects. Public Safety Operations Center, which was $4 million. High Water Rescue Vehicle, $375,000. Fire Station 4 for $7 million. The East Pasco Emergency Shelter Recreation Complex and Community Center, $20 million. Emergency portable generators for wastewater storm recovery and resiliency, $2,600,000. Then we have our priority B projects. Decon truck, $600,000. Double hammock, $11,503,525. Sun Lake Boulevard, new road section, Bud Bexley Parkway to south of Wilton Way. The full amount of the project is $13,800,000, but we could go in and ask for planning and design for this year on that one. Then we have priority B and C right on the fence, and I can tell you the #1 shelter expansion veterinary clinic. I can tell you today they want to do that next year, so we don't have to worry about that one today. And then a pedestrian overpass at State Road 54 and the Suncoast Parkway, $2,883,000.
Ralph, quick question on that one?
Yes.
Madam Chair?
Well, I'm going to pull that because.
She is going to pull that one.
Because
That's
Senator
one of our
Hooper,
additionals.
Senator Hooper has asked for
Yeah, and
Turning
I've got you.
Boulevard, and it's not even on here.
Yeah, it's on there when we get down there. I'll
But
get
as-
to, it's the additional project.
All right.
All right, but I think we should keep it on there.
Which one?
Well, both of them, but, add the other one as well. But that overpass, is that the amount of money that we've got to come up with a
No,
difference?
we have to come up with $6 million.
So I think we should go ask for 6.
Okay, I've had discussions with Nick.
He is
Is
here
this the
today.
time to discuss this quickly? I mean,
Let's go through them quickly, and then if there's
We'll get
certain
to it.
ones you want us to go back to and we want to move them forward, yes. But my goal today is I think we need to get down to, I know you all discussed is maybe 1 in each of your all's districts, that would be 5. And then maybe we add an additional 5 projects, up to an additional 5 projects on top of that.
I just want y'all to remember that I didn't have an ask last year, and so we said I would be District 3, we get a prioritization this year, because we didn't even submit one for me last
Got
year.
that. And so when we go on Monday, our goal is to get sponsors for these projects we asked for. That's going to be the determining factor. Do we get sponsors? So if you don't mind, let me go through. Or we can just say, if you don't want to do priority C projects this year, we can skip those, but I can go through how they were ranked. So we ranked the air vent truck, the heavy rescue truck, the Newport Corners Recreation Center and Mitchell Park renovation was ranked C. Beacon Square, Sea Pines, because of the how large it is and how many it's various sections. Trilby Road, which we had applied for before and it got vetoed. Bellamy Brothers Road improvements, and then overpass road improvements. Lakuchi Wastewater Treatment Facility. Sea Pines Golf Harbors Community Submersible Motor Control Cabinets. Wastewater Treatment Facility Relocation Feasibility Study. Wastewater lift station generator receptacles, and complete generator backup for our utilities building. The 2 additional projects.
While you're talking, can you plot these on a map, please?
We do have the map that you have
Thank you.
in front of you.
Where?
Some of these projects, if you if you have a specific one, would be considered countywide, like the high water vehicles.
Where's
Would-
where's the map?
Should be right in front of you. Just pull it up, you can put it up on the Elmo if you like. There it is.
All right, thank you.
And then the two additional projects were, Commissioner Waitman spoke with staff. The next one on the list for the school sidewalks is sidewalk at Curly Road from State Road 54 to Wells Road, $1,725,000. And then this one, Commissioner Starkey, the road improvements on Trinity Boulevard that you got with Nick, and then I think you said you spoke with Senator Hooper on for $2,810,630. So now we can go back, and if there's a project, I never got with you, we did talk, you were going to wait after you had gotten back from the organizational session, kind of get the feel of what was going on in Tallahassee. You might want to share that. I think we've already seen memos from the House Speaker. He is going to have a tight budget. He has said that. Going to be tight on the on the wallet and the spending of the Floridians' money, and we appreciate that. But we also know that they are going to do hurricane recovery and resiliency. We'll probably see definitely money go toward water projects. And then it's that other that comes out of general revenue and the trust funds that we will have. But at the end of the day, it's imperative that we do whittle this down so we have a smaller list when we go with our meeting with our delegation, and then see what they will sponsor. I know that I already have commitment on the shelter for the east side with a senator and a House member. They've already spoke with that. That's one that Commissioner Oakley wanted to move forward on. So I do know that. So is there any of the
That's
categories?
actually a big project, and I've got everybody basically in line to move that project, so. But it's good for Pasco County, it's going good for the whole area as far as storm, and we've just come through the worst storms we'll ever come through, I hope, so.
And number 3, the Trinity Boulevard one is at the request of Senator Hooper.
So that's the new one that we just
That's the
added
new
on.
one, yeah.
So that would be the Trinity road improvements for $2,810,630.
It's not a lot of money. But I do want to speak to what Jack was talking about with the bike ped overpass, because we're, in talking with Nick, and I don't know if he wants to come up to explain this, but, so that's a turnpike project, not a District 7 project. And my understanding is, so I believe, this is my gripe, we gave them the money, Nick, would you mind coming up? We gave them the money, how long ago, to pay for it? We had the money to pay for it, but they sat on that money for years, and now, what? We have a $6 million shortage? What's the number for the one that we pay, and we're paying for it ourselves, so.
We're referring, good afternoon, Commissioners. Nick.
The overpass at 54
We're
and start
referring to the overpass at 54.
Suncoast.
Yes.
Yeah.
We entered into an agreement, I want to say it was in 2022, but that may be older than that, maybe 2018.
No,
It
that's
might have
penny
been
money from the
2018.
first penny.
Yeah. So 2018, we gave DOT District 7 $10 million and said, please design and construct a pedestrian overpass for the Suncoast Trail at the State Road 54 interchange. That was, the intent was for them to do that project for us and have it built and operational. In the interim, the Turnpike came along and said, oh, by the way, we're widening the corridor and we're going to be adding lanes to the off-ramps. Please don't put your overpass bridge in a place where we'll have to tear it down when we build that stuff. And so that caused a little bit of delay.
But I'm going to say, I think it caused an unnecessary delay, because when you had the two entities at the table, they said, you can go ahead and build your overpass, just don't do it in our, over here, you have to put it over there, and then it cleared the way for us to move on. So I'm not sure we needed to have that delay after having that meeting, so that was kind of eye-opening.
Sure. I can't speak to
Well,
all of the delays that
They gave us
have-
the
that
go-ahead,
occurred prior to my
because they
arrival.
still haven't designed that interchange, right? But they said we could go ahead and build the overpass.
And what the MPO board was informed of this morning for the commissioners that were a part of that discussion was that the construction of the overpass at 54 has been delayed to fiscal year '26 because we're working out final issues with the design. And then the MPO board was also informed this morning by Turnpike staff that the Turnpike is adding, this was the one that caught Commissioner Mariano's attention, the Turnpike is adding design of the widening of the Suncoast Parkway from Hillsborough County to north of State Road 54 to, I believe, fiscal year '26 as part of their, just design funding, as part of their draft work program for the update coming up to be adopted in July.
But that has nothing to do with our overpass, according to
Well,
them.
It doesn't at this point in time, because we have an existing agreement with District 7, with DOT District 7, to design and construct the overpass. That existing agreement obligates us to pay the shortfall.
That's another thing there, Jack.
Which is why
I
this
just
item was
learned.
even on the potential legislative appropriations request in the first place, where we said, hey, maybe we should go to the legislature and ask them to help us pay this additional cost. All that to say, one of the options that the board could consider is asking the Turnpike, as part of the design of their widening and additional construction of turn lanes at the ramps, to include the overpass as part of their project, in lieu of constructing it with the agreement we have with District 7. That would be a substantial shakeup, and we don't have agreement from the Turnpike to do that, but that would be a possible avenue that we could potentially investigate and bring back an alternative analysis to the board at a future point in time.
And I didn't want to bring this up with this guy this morning, because this is not his level. This is a much higher level thing. So I'm like, why shake the pot this morning? So I don't really know, let's talk about it, because I don't think it's fair we're paying for it. I think we should see if we have a shot. I don't know if we bring our lobbyist, pick one of the three and take them with us. But it would be a delay in the construction of that overpass. But we could take the money that they have and build the one over Starkey Boulevard, which the developer is holding the land for us. So Commissioner Mariano.
So,
I mean, over 54.
Think back to Ridge Road Extension was getting done. We had an agreement that DOT,
Yes.
the Turnpike Authority was going to pay for the interchange. They came back and pushed back on us.
Yes.
For what, another $10 million?
Yeah.
We fought back, and guess what? We won.
Yeah.
I think we should go for the whole $6 million and put it right on them. And whether it be a combination with DOT helping out
Yeah, it's
or
their-
Turnpike Authority, let them both go.
Yeah.
But I think, we've got to look at, with the appropriations chair, his district, if anybody's going to try to find a way to get something done, so be it. If he gets it done, this $3 million or $6 million total, that's money that we can keep back in the penny to go build some other roads we may need, to schools, trails, et cetera, and put the money back in where we want to go put it. So I think it's critical we go fight for it. And I don't care, frankly, because we didn't get any money last year. I mean, let's forget about what happened last year. It's gone, it's gone. But right now, I think we could put all the ass out there. And if we get a legislature that sees something, just like they see the project over in Dade City for the hurricane shelter, let them latch onto it, let them latch onto it. Whatever we get is going to help the overall, county. Let it be. Let's go find out where the hot buttons are, who's going to grab what.
So is that a legislative appropriation, or is that a District 7 Turnpike refunding? That's my
With
question.
the discussion you just had, that would not be an appropriations
Yeah,
request
so-
with a member. That would be a discussion, though, we could engage our delegation in when we say,
Help us.
here's what we need help on, and explain that, but it would not be a delegate. And I think that would probably be a better
I think so,
shot
too.
of doing that and holding that off for
Okay.
a discussion where we try to get them to help us to get that, and they don't have to take it out of GR or the existing DOT work plan.
Okay, I like that, and I have another question for us. And I think maybe we have to stop doing this. Why did we give them $10 million when it wasn't ready to go? Who got the interest on that? Is it sitting in our bank account, but with their name on it, or is it sitting in their bank account for all these years?
Usually when we do that, they're subject to some kind of agreement. We'd have to check and see.
I don't ever want to do that again. I don't want to give them the money until they're shovel-ready.
Agreed.
we could have put that money to use and paid for something. You know, we could have stretched our money, and now we're getting whacked with it. And to no fault of our own. That's my, okay, so I would agree then. We will go fight for that. We'll take our new lobby team with us, but we'll bring it up at the legislative delegation. We need a history on that.
Madam Chair, to go a little further, so we got 3 teams, and we got a federal team as well, so they can guide us. We know what we want.
Yeah.
I think we asked for it all. Let's see where the chips fall, where the hot buttons are, what can go. Maybe there's a pot of money for some fire station, maybe there's a pot of money for a vehicle, or...
But are you saying keep it as an appropriation?
I think, well, I think we asked for it all. However, we got to structure it, let it go. But
I would like to, say that, but we had a discussion with our legislative, our lobbyist team earlier, and they said you definitely need to pare this down. This is too big of a request. This is too much, and this is, you can't go in asking like that for that much for all these projects. And you really do need to pare them down. So we listened to them. They would have stood up here today, and they would have said the exact same thing. This is too many asks.
Well,
Too
I think we need to go in this one in a back door.
And I agree, and that's what I think we can move forward with, and then talk to the delegation and say, here's what we're planning on doing on this project, and see if we can get that project done. But moving forward, so we've got, I'll stop.
You want to say something?
Yeah, no, I just, yeah, we have about $140+ million with this entire list, and the lobbyists were very clear on, hey, we've got to pare this down. The House is looking to be fiscally conservative. It's been made very clear to us that emergency hurricane resilient type projects are going to be probably given the priority.
Which ones do we have that are
So
like that?
if you could put the slide with priority A back up there, Tony and Gina. Those would be the ones that we thought fell into that category. And I guess I would say a couple of things on those real quick. Obviously, we've already spoken about the East Pasco Emergency Shelter Recreation. The Public Safety Operations Center is an interesting one because we have federal money, and sometimes being able to stack and leverage dollars is something that is could be a good thing. So we're working on the design for the EOC. The board just recently approved, I think today as a matter of fact, design funds to do conceptual design for a public safety operations campus. So getting some additional money in to design those components pushes us that much closer towards a shovel-ready project, which is where, quite honestly, I'd like to really engage, leverage the federal side of things to get money for that. You heard Director Guthrie even say, we've got the oldest EOC probably in the state.
No, I
especially
didn't
for
hear
a
him
county
say
of our
that.
size. It's time, but it's also a good opportunity to look at a public safety operations campus similar to what you see down in Pinellas and Hillsborough, and that can solve some issues there. Generators, maybe. Fire station number 4, I think, they traditionally have not really funded those, but, those are things we could probably be guided on and talk to about. And I can definitely tell you, a high rescue water vehicle or 2 would definitely be a good thing. So, I mean,
I understood that fire stations were funded for fiscally restrained.
No, not necessarily. And
okay.
there was a list of fire station projects that were in the budget. They did have them, 50/50 match, in which we have that
Okay.
as well. We'll probably have to bond our portion. That may come into question if you don't have the actual dollar on the table. But there were several of those fire stations that were vetoed. But they are funded.
And I would just want to add that we are seeing different type of leadership from the House right now.
That's correct.
That we're not used to. So they are going to be running a tight ship. They are, like you said, going to be watching every dollar. So
Sure.
This is not a year that we shoot for the moon because it won't happen. So.
So I think moving forward with these priority A's, at least to our delegation meeting, would be a good thing. Now, again, we talk about Trinity, we talk about, I've seen sidewalks that have been added, I've seen some of these pedestrian improvements. There's conversations that we can have.
Right.
But a lot of those ones that kind of fall into the C bucket are still they're important projects, they're big projects. We do have other funding mechanisms in which we're approaching them. To Commissioner Yeager's point, it may not be the right year for that. But I think if we start positioning ourselves on some of these, especially the large one, I think we could really take advantage of some potential federal dollars.
Correct.
Given how things have turned out, so.
Especially
So
with
that being
resilience.
said, then if.
I
you
would
look-
just like to add Trinity onto this and then
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if we
Priority
did
A.
priority A and then those 2 additional projects, that would be enough for our discussion then on Monday.
Last slide.
Which would be the sidewalk and the road improvements at Trinity Boulevard, which you've already had that discussion. Also know that when we go in there, Hooper will not be able to sponsor any appropriations requests. So that will then fall to Burgess and Angolia in the Senate, or whoever Hooper chooses. If he gives it the blessing, he can also pick someone to do it that may not live in our delegation or live in our county.
Can the TED Appropriations Chair also sponsor, or does he have to delegate to Sigley?
So he can, we don't have the TEDs in our area.
He's in Pinellas County.
Yeah, Pinellas County,
But some of us know him.
Yeah, and he could do that. He more than likely will not fund it. The appropriations chairs normally do not put in a project, but they do find members that may do those for them and put them in, knowing that it's for their district or a project they want. So would you be good with that, then going with priority A and then that slide, moving forward for our meeting on Monday?
So I got 2 things.
Okay?
Priority B, you got Double Hammock. That's a stormwater project. Literally, you heard me talk about this a little while ago. You got stormwater that comes down from the north, works its way down. It passes like Pineapple Line where the FGA plant is. It then works its down all the way to another intersection. It stops there, it doesn't even get to Lake Chrissy, and then it actually flows back up. It's silted in all the way around. Then it swings out by the Scenic Drive, which is by the Gulfview Mall. It is like a quagmire of waterways that need to get cleaned out and fixed up. That's a resiliency plan.
Right.
When I look at Sea Pines, Jason, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, he is here.
So Sea Pines, a project, we've got all this funding in place already. I think we've got already 12 million of the 18 million I'm seeing, unless you've got other things in there. So I don't know what's in the Sea Pines thing exactly, but with a project, you've got 2/3 of the funding in place. We've got one last leg. And if not for the Army Corps holding us up for a permit right now, we'd have started that project already. So.
They're all great projects, I just don't think we can ask.
What I'm going to say,
But
though.
that could be a funding source from a different thing from general fund that's like an off-market appropriation.
So I think with the commissioner, yeah, basically the different funding buckets, Ralph. Is there, you had mentioned, specifically, you'd also mentioned water projects. I don't know if that falls into that bucket
That
or
would
not.
fall into that. And let me also throw in this into the mix. If on the Excel spreadsheet, this is something that Jason would have to explain or talk to us about. Right now, we need, close to $2 million for design and permitting. That could be this year's ask, and then we go back in and do more. Then there's, or he's got to include for design and permitting $1 million, and then the construction's $9,777,000. What my question to Jason would be, how long is it going to take to do the design and permitting? Would that take like a year or longer than a year? Where we could then ask for the construction next year?
It's a biggie.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, Jason Mickle, Public Works Director. Commissioner Mariano, this is an area that is in need of a project like this. And you also know that we are facing some permitting challenges on our west side of our county due to the 404 issue that we have. So we're trying to break that free. So it's a little unpredictable to exactly say how long permitting will take right now, only because we're up against a little bit of a wall that we're trying to overcome. So on Double Hammock, typically design of that type of project takes up to about a year. The permitting would follow pretty quickly after that in a normal situation, and then we can go to construction about 1.5 years, 2 years.
Okay, so we can ask for part of it then.
If the ask is, we do have the design and permitting costs broken out, so we could ask for that. And then if you'd like me to address Sea Pines, I could do that as well.
Please.
So the Sea Pines ask that we have in there is for all 3 projects, the Sea Pines, Lafitte Drive, and Sea Pines Local. The two of those, Sea Pines and Sea Pine on Lafitte, those are both designed already. The Sea Pines local is not designed. There's conceptual plans done for all of them, so we do have a good idea how we can move forward with those and that they will work. And I'll just say that in our out years, in our CIP, we do have money for construction, about 13 of that 18. We're also leveraging SwiftMud dollars. We have about $3.5 million in SwiftMud dollars that we would be able to utilize for this project as well.
For
If
Sea
we-
Pines or Double Hammock?
For Sea Pines. Sea Pines and Lafitte both have about $1.5 million, $1.7 million for.
Well, if we only could ask for one, and we only could ask for part of it, which one?
Well, I guess I was just trying to think, typically, the Water Management District, if you get additional funds, they cut back their contribution. So really, when you gain, if you gain 50%, you actually lose.
I'll address Mike's point, which is an excellent point, that I had my staff look at. You have to match SwiftMud dollars with county dollars only. Okay?
That's right, I
You can't
remember
match
that.
SwiftMud dollars with state or any other grant money. Yeah.
So, to be clear, from what you just said, I think we got about 13 million already funded?
Yeah, in our 5-year CRP.
Right.
We have about 13 million.
Okay.
And then if I have that 13 million plus my SwiftMud dollars, I'm about 5 million short total.
But we
to
did,
do-
but if
to
we
do
ask
the
for
whole-
5, SwiftMud's gonna take it. It's not a
No, but
one-to-one.
remember, the SwiftMud money that we have for this is only about 3.5 million of the full 22 million that we need to fund this project.
Yeah, but we'd lose the, what, half of that then?
We would match the SwiftMud money with our money, right? So I wouldn't plan on losing any
But if-
SwiftMud money.
But here's the thing, if you're that close to getting
Whoa, which part are they gonna wanna match with? The state match or our match? Do we have that choice?
Yeah, I think it's probably worth a conversation with the Water Management District and to see what our agreements state, because I think our agreements stipulate that if we get additional funding, it equally defers.
So that happened on another project.
I've seen that happen before.
Off
So-
the top.
Yeah, usually it's off the top.
But, so here's the thing, I mean, we have done so many great projects, right? We were always in the news about flooding. I mean, I had a loop that took me 6 hours to do. Now I gotta go to four spots and I'm done. I mean, what we've done has been phenomenal. And now they're changing their funding to go do water source, et cetera. I think there's a good argument for the state to hear it anyway, and I think if we can get extra money from SwiftMud, let's try for that. Let them go put the money up. Maybe we can get it that way, so we don't lose money. And even if we did get 5 million and we lose 2.5, you're still 2.5 million better trying to get a project done that's desperately
But
needed.
you asked for double hammock instead of Sea Pines, because you can't have both.
I think if you did anything to keep it smaller, let's get the design done for double hammock, because at least we can say we're gonna get the design done and go from there.
And
But
then we
Sea
can
Pines
also
is,
go for-
it's in permitting right now with the Army Corps holding up, and I think frankly, with Trump, the administration in office, I think we're gonna get that through. I think it's gonna turn. So I think we should be going for the money to,
So you're right,
take a
so you're right
shot.
on point. So on Lafitte Drive, there may be an option that we don't even need to get a 404. We're still trying to work through the details on that. Sea Pines, the regular project, we need a 404. Lafitte Drive, we may be able to avoid it. And then with this additional dollars from the state, we could accelerate the project schedule as long as we can get our permits.
I mean, this was Senator Simpson and Representative Mariano worked on this a long time ago, trying to get every home out of the flood zone. That's how good this project is. And that's going to allow us to then go septic to sewer to justify that better, as well as doing the roads in there, which I desperately need to. But we
Is
need to
that-
make this first step.
Is that anywhere near that Springs area of northwest Pasco County?
It's south of there.
All right.
I forgot what number it is on your map.
Because we need to be making sure, I think Commissioner Oakley was on that board. I went there once for you. Now Commissioner Waitman's on that board. That board has money. They have money for septic to sewer, and I'm not sure we've ever gotten any. I know Hernando County's using it, so I don't know why we're not asking for any of it. That's your district, Jack. It's in the upper corner.
Spring shed is the Arapika, I
Yeah.
believe, portion of the spring shed. And there may be I don't want to speak to this because I don't necessarily know for sure, but there may be some septic to sewer asks for that area.
That's what they gave. They gave a whole bunch of money into that area for septic to sewer
I think this is
conversions.
Wiki-Wachi, though, and I don't think that does this.
Southern part of Wiki.
No, we have a
No,
piece in it.
Are we south of that? Yeah, we're south of
That,
that.
well, what you're talking right now is south of it, but I'm just saying, there's money for Pasco County in that Springs. That's why we have a representative on that board, and right now it's Commissioner Waitman.
We did get some money, I think, over in Shady Hills, allocated for it, but I don't think this project touches that. It's
No,
more-
I agree. I just telling you guys, you had a lot of discussion, and I got a little time thing here. I got to go down to Tampa. So pick one, and what is the amount?
I think Sea Pine's the best amount, and I'll let you
But you
guys-
can't go for 18 million, Jack.
No, that's what I'm saying. That number is too high. We didn't need that money.
What's the design number?
No, you need, so the 18 million.
The design is
again,
done on Sea Pines.
Yeah,
What are we- what's
we're
the
in
ask?
permitting. So we don't need 18 million, is why I wanted to bring it
number?
forward. Didn't you say we need like 5?
5 million would be my shortfall. if I-
So you get 5 million shortfall, you ask for, and here's the thing, you can now say you get an $18 million project, you just need 5 million for it. I think it sells pretty well.
Well, we got.
Let's
we'll
go ask for 5 and say it's an
see
$18
six
million
on the wall
project.
with representative from Hernando County. Would have to be your sponsor.
So then it goes back to, if we're asking for 5, do we have the other 5?
We've got 13
Or
of
do
18,
we go in
that's
for
what I understand.
2.5?
In our CIP, our 5-year CIP, we have, I'm just using round numbers, okay? We have 13 million, okay? We have a $3.5 million grant from the Water Managers District, and we would need about another 5 to complete the project. So that's how the money break out. I could take it up with the Water Management District to make sure that all that works out fine, make sure that our agreements are written that way.
And then again, if we go in and we get money from the state, and we already have a large portion of money from the Water Management District, they're going to take half of that.
Unless we,
And remove it off of the money you already have.
I think the best way to handle it is, look, we've got 10 million of our own money, we've got about 3.5 or so from the Water Management District, we're short 5. Jason, why don't you go back, look at the agreements, and let's just make an educated guess on what, if any, the state or the Water Management District would take back if we were to get an appropriation, and then we can kind of tailor that into an action, okay?
and you know, I know those are all important, but you heard today the people talking about Thousand Oaks and Trinity, and, you know, there was one at one time, this is kind of for you, Commissioner Yeager, and maybe Commissioner Waitman, before your time, there was a plan that Army Corps was looking at to hold back the Anklet River, so that it wouldn't, in a heavy rain event, it would not flood the Trinity residents. And those residents in that area where they spoke about this morning, they are built 15 inches below where they should be. So they are in a bowl. It's not a closed basin, because we have an outlet that we spent millions and millions of dollars on to get it out to the river. However, I will tell you, and I have the video of it, Little Road was a river. We had to shut down Little Road, which is part of the evacuation route for Pinellas County during the hurricane. It literally was a river going over the road. And so we're going to have to talk about some kind of solution for that area. I don't know what it is, but you can't have Little Road going underwater.
So then for the purpose of our.
Ralph, hang on.
Go ahead.
Mr. Starkey. So you and I sat in the committee for what, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? We had the Army Corps in the room, we had Swiftman in the room, Congressman Bill Rockus had representatives. It's all about there is conveyance. Before Trinity Heritage Springs, they don't flood. You come down the road, Thousand Oaks does the flooding. You go across the road after the BMP at CVS, you go into Oak Ridge, they got drains running through there.
Yeah.
You know, that they keep open, the water flows, the water is conveyed out to the Gulf. The reserve used to be backed up after that, and we made them clean, the Swiftmud made them clean it out. They don't even flood anymore either. If we can get right now some help with the Army Corps and get a push going through to study it, get something done, we can get that water conveyed out. It'd be a lot better shape.
I'm just saying, we're going to have to do another study in
I
that
know.
area.
And what I'm saying is, with Hooper in play, I think we lean on him to go help lead the way. I mean, we got to take advantage of that.
Yeah. Okay.
So then, for our discussion then with our delegation on Monday, are we all good with the list on priority A? I am. You are?
Yes,
Yeah.
with the additions
And
that we
with
just
the
did.
addition of the 2 additional projects?
And Sea Pines, but not
And
to
now
that
we're looking
number.
at Sea Pines. Yeah,
Not to
We're
that
not going to do double hammock.
But we need Jason to do his homework.
And then we will also have that discussion if time is, available to talk about the overpass. And
Yeah.
I think that's a discussion we have, though, maybe offline with the senator when we have that. So then come Monday, we'll be.
I don't mind
trying-
telling them all that.
We can do that. And then come
being
Monday,
treated.
we'll be talking about our policies. One, we will be seeking a sponsor for our local bill that only requires the House. I plan to ask Representative Yeager on that. I just haven't had that discussion with him yet. And then we will have the Priority A projects, the 2 additional projects. We're working on the Sea Pines for our discussion and see what we can get sponsors for.
Okay. In the future, I do want to have a discussion about another subject that one of our residents brought up this morning, and I'm having this problem in Holiday, and that is people living on other people's property, and what are we going to do about it? You know, our hands are tied there on 19. The guy's got a trespass agreement, but we can't go in and clean it up. And we can't force him to clean it up. He's in Texas. So he didn't show up in court. There's a warrant out for his arrest, but Texas isn't going to arrest him and send him to us. So I really want to, it's not fair to those people in Green Key. It's not fair to the residents in Holiday. And our hands are somewhat tied. So I don't know if it's a workshop. I think it's going to take legislative change. But I do want to talk about that.
And before I leave, I will have our lobby team there as well on Monday. And remember, it's here. The workshop will be here.
It's here?
It's here,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, I thought it was on the other side of the county. Thank God. Because I have a big day that day. It's my annual cookie party.
Very good?
You're lucky I'm showing up. Actually, I had to move it to the dinner for the first time in 32 years.
Why don't you bring us samples?
I'll bring you some after, because I'm not eating all those cookies.
All right, where are we?
Okay, we are on commissioner items, so Commissioner Oakley?
I enjoyed being the chairman this past year.
Good
And I
job.
appreciate everything everybody did to help me. And all the staff. Appreciate everyone that does their part of this county that make things work. And it's really quite an exciting year if you go back through all the things we've done and especially all the storms. I've never seen, we've still got EOC active, right? So.
Well, we're doing active recovery. We're not in,
I
obviously,
know,
in a level
right,
one.
yeah.
Are we still
type
pumping
stance.
out on the east side, or are we done with that?
I'll have to turn to Branford to give us the east side. We have a number of operations that are still underway.
Still going, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right. But I appreciate everybody's help. So,
And
thank
this
you.
is
That's
you?
all I've got.
You got this fire rescue graduation?
Oh, yes, I did attend that. I had, I'm trying to think, we had 20 new firemen we put on. It's been working very well. We have another 134 plus or minus, I guess, to add on to get all the firemen we need for D shift, I believe. Isn't that right, JJ? Does that sound right? Okay. But very good program. The new chief was there and Gloria and did a good job. It really, and this location of this seemed to be nicer. It's not as big as the one over on 54, but it's McLaughlin High School there. That
Oh,
seemed
yeah.
to fit it a lot better. It's nice. It's big, and it's plenty big for doing this, and it did work out pretty well. So really appreciate being there.
Hey, Commissioner Waitman?
Is he talking?
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to, can you hear me? Just want to congratulate Chair Oakley on having a successful year in his chairmanship. And congratulations to Starkey and Mariano on their terms. Also want to thank the planning staff, Brad Tippett and his team, for our town hall meeting with folks on Aaron Cutoff yesterday, and appreciate everybody taking the time to listen and understand folks' concerns with flooding and the impacts of that. And that's about it. Just want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Yeager?
Okay, I will go through these slides super quick. We had a busy couple weeks. So this was Pasco County's 4th annual adoption day. So this little cutie and her mama, she adopted 7 kids.
Oh,
so
goodness.
it was absolutely beautiful and amazing.
At one time?
Oh boy, her story. She just kept adding them. All right, so the next was Habitat for Humanity. These were 2 home dedications, the Oliveira family and the Van Patten family. They were right next to each other. They went through the program together, and now they've built a friendship, and they live next to each other. So that was really exciting. Okay, so this next one was Moon Lake. We had Trinity Women's League come in and sponsor food. So we were in there serving food and visiting with the residents. And we also partnered with Grace's Food Pantry and provided 167 frozen turkeys from Publix.
Wow, nice.
Yep. And next slide, I also attended the graduation, so I won't speak on that. But congratulations to all the cadets. And then my last slide, the reason I asked to have this slide up, I want to recognize Jeremy Blevins from the Parks and Recreation. He stayed late, and this was not the first time he stayed late, and he was helping us clean up. We had a huge food donation go out to Moon Lake Park yesterday, and we had to serve probably 150 families last night with fresh meat, vegetables, fruit, breads. It was an amazing thing, and the girls and I, and even Jeremy said, we're changing this community. So the park is becoming just a great place to hang out and everybody gets along. But I just wanted to give a shout out to Jeremy because he stayed super late, and this is like the 2nd time he's done it. So very thankful for that. And that's all.
Commissioner Mariano.
Thank you. We had a great meeting last night with Leisure Beach. They were very happy to see that the things were progressing well. They were very thankful. They actually, first time I've ever gone to a Civic Association meeting where they actually had a cake to say thank you. I mean, it was pretty cool. So there was a very celebratory mood. They were very appreciative of everything we've done. One of the things that came up with these units, they can put an RV out there. They're allowed to by law, state law. We had a problem at a Leisure Beach meeting, frankly, where we had someone complaining that they were seeing sewage, fecal matter in the canals. So we wanted to make sure that we made sure all these RVs are hooked up one way or the other. So they've gone around, they've made a lot of requests for that, clarifications for it. But JP, I want to work close with staff. They did a good thing going out there to create the awareness to what and why. There's one guy that couldn't actually find his hookup, but and I'm not sure what it means, and Commissioner Oakley might know better, but there's like a honeypot thing you could actually use as well. So I want to work with these people to make sure they're safe. They had some requirements. They were talking about not being able to put it in the right-of-way. Some of these lots are so small, it's got to be in the right-of-way.
Well, how do first responders get around it? Can they?
Well, if it's, so right there at the end of the driveway,
Oh.
the pitch right there, that's the right-of-way. So they're saying they don't want them out there. So if it's too close to the property line. So I need to work with your team, not only for this, but for all around the county to make sure we take care of that.
You do bring up a really good issue. If this is like a fifth wheel,
Yeah,
and so someone brought it there for them,
Right.
how are they cleaning out their sewage? So they got to transport it, not
well,
to
no,
their canal.
no, a lot of them hook up. Yeah, a lot of them hook right up.
Hook right up to what?
The sewage,
The houses, sewage.
they can hook up
They're going into the,
right to the regular sewer system.
Or there's a truck that comes by.
well, yeah,
hooks
we
it
just
up
got to
and
make
it
sure that,
comes-
that
comes
people.
Right,
have
yeah, we
this
want to
done.
make sure, and staff did a good job going through it, and they are checking them out, but again, I think we can't go by any rules as far as, if it's on their property line, we got to let it be, because these lots are so tight up there, that, keep in mind, they got to live there while they're getting the construction done, so we got to be flexible to not go to what we're used to doing. As long as they're hooked up, we're good, to go forward from there. Do you have the Gary Line plastic pictures? So Gary Line's Plastic, I mentioned earlier today, what a phenomenal facility this is. They've got plastics that come in, there's pipelines that go up and around. These people here was like so ecstatic to be working in a nice, clean, new environment, having work here locally. I'll tell you, to stand out at the podium and kind of address the people and just see everybody there going forward. Now, the great thing about this company, too, is they came from New Jersey. Tom Ryan did a great job with EDC going up there, soliciting the business, got them to come down here. And the one fear where they had, will we have enough workers? And I will tell you, they are so ecstatic that we could give them all the workers they need and then some. The enthusiasm to have them come out there. This company here makes a lot of plastics. They make Frisbees, water bottles, all sorts of different things. The company that's right beside them, talk about like when you build one core industry, another one comes. Well, right beside them is the Height Company, I think they call it. They're right beside them, and they take their materials that are built, and they go and sell them. So what I see happening with them is that we can get them in contact with all our local people. When they go buy the products, they will go buy it through the distribution company, but they can know they're buying products right from here in Pasco County.
It doesn't have to come from China.
Exactly. Instead of China, it comes right here. So I'm very excited about helping them not only locally, but regionally, to do a lot of great things in here.
Is there something, my staff went there too, is there something we could do to help get the plastics to them from our recycling?
Great question. So there's suppliers right now that they have supply them, but I actually asked them to reach out to do just that, to go reach out to who supplies them with the plastics, go take a look at what we have on our waste stream.
They use recycled plastics.
Exactly. And that was one of the things, like the parents that started this thing 61 years ago who were there, they talked about how the dad got up and spoke. And when he spoke, he talked about how he started, and one of the things he wanted to do was take recycled plastic and use it, and that's what they've been doing. So the companies they use like to do that too, and I think if we can make a connection there, I says, we got space here, I got an industrial park coming in, we could bring you right down there, make it cheaper and easier for you, save you money, and let you make even more money, hire more people. So yeah, they like that idea as well. Great thinking. So anyway, so they're so excited. I think there might be a picture with the ribbon cutting itself, or right before with the family. That's all the EDC folks that were there, full team. Is that all you got? Okay. There's the owner right there. And again, it's just a family company. His parents started this thing 61 years ago, and then now the son took it over, brought the whole business down here, and amazing building they got, and they brought all their family grandkids to work in there down too. So family business growing here and now expanding in Pasco County. So all that said, I want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. I want to thank our whole team. I want to say, no matter where I've gone to talk about how we've gone through this storm, people are super, super appreciative. They know the work, the cooperation every step. They know the tricky step we're taking right now with the damage assessment forms. But I tell you what, one of the things we did is after just being up at FAC, and I want to give staff credit especially for the leadership to go and waive the fees. Not every county's done that.
Yeah.
I mean, I pushed that. I said, you guys, it's the greatest thing to go do is your people know that you're trying to help them get through something. So that is, I think, radiating through the state right now. You may see more of that coming up, but leading the way in so many things and getting the work done, I think, I want to say just thank you all for all the great work you've done.
County Administrator.
Thank you for those kind words, Commissioner Mariano. A couple of things. First, related to the storm, we did receive a 50% advance on our estimated expenses, so $24 million. A lot of that is related back to the storm debris, so we anticipate that being about a $50 million price tag at the end of the day. So we have received $24 million back from FEMA to help start the reimbursement process on that. So that's great. We're about 2/3 complete. That date for 100% reimbursement has been pushed back to February 10th. I feel pretty confident that we're going to make that. We've got a lot of crews out working, and we're doing a lot of good stuff out there. Related, and I don't necessarily need a motion, but just if I can at least see that we've got concurrence with the board. Community development block grants. So there is the availability of CBDGDR, disaster relief money out there. This is to the tune of not tens, but hundreds of millions of dollars. The first step in that is for us to send a letter from this body to our federal delegation. Yes. I have one drafted up for the chair that I would like to have signed. They could be voting on packages as early as this week, possibly through the spring. So I think it's important that we jump on this, half of that money has to be used for housing, but the other half can be used for infrastructure.
Yes.
And other important type of projects.
So you really do need a motion to authorize the
So
chair
moved.
to
So
sign?
moved.
I mean, I guess
Oh,
if
you're
they
chair.
want to, we can,
Oh,
we can do
someone
that.
make it.
So somebody
Jack.
make the motion. Ron's joined my staff, so we're good.
Move approval to send the letter and put the
All in
recommendation in.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I did.
Lisa. We got that last time.
Yes, thank you, that's all.
Okay, next is who? It's one of you
Me,
two.
county
Okay, county attorney.
I don't have anything general, but happy holidays.
Will you be there Monday? Here Monday?
I will be
Okay.
here Monday.
All right.
Yes.
Clerk's office.
I do have two quick things. Clerk Alvarez Souls would like to draw to your attention to item N-131, which was the audit that our office performed to look at performed or agreed upon procedures for the P-card process. And we would just like to inform the board that there was two recommendations, and county management has concurred and is in the process of implementing those items. So again, the audit is in your packet, and we thank the county for their cooperation on all of that. On an up note, which was, well, that was actually good, but I'd like to read this statement from from Clerk Alvarez Souls. I'm pleased to announce that the clerk's office has been awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2023. This marks the 41st consecutive year that the office has earned this honor from the GFOA, recognizing our commitment to transparency and effective communication of the county's financial story. GFOA states that the achievement of Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in government accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a government and its management. She would like to recognize the hard work of her finance team, especially the efforts of Finance Director Matt Lazar and Assistant Finance Director Richard Van Steen, and would also like to recognize the other constitutional officers for their hard work and dedication in the annual financial audit. Last but not least, I would like to thank the county's fiscal and grant management teams for their help in the financial audit process. Specifically, she would like to recognize Jessica Blesser, Christina McGonigal, Director of the Public Services Grants and Fiscal Services Team, Amy Farrell, and her grants management team. Again, we want to thank them for assisting us in maintaining that award that you've had it 41 years. We don't want to lose it. So.
Congratulations. Okay, me. So I have some very brief Tourism Development Council updates. We've won, this is the Pasco, all right. Hang on a second. We have won quite a few awards, especially our own Consuelo, and I think we need to give her a resolution, so I'll work on that. But she has won all kinds of local and national awards. We won an award for the best event of the year for small markets. That was the Tampa Bay Christmas Invitational, presented by the Florida Sports Foundation. We've hosted all kinds of events. And we have, with some of the marketing accomplishments, we have an email marketing campaign that has been relaunched. I'd love for you to go look at the website and see all the changes that have been made. We've got a company working on all those, and our outreach has increased dramatically. And some of the website enhancements are new engaging content, Scalloping Prep 101, the remarkable journey of bay scallops, and some recipes for scallops, so kind of fun. I attended the Pasco Leadership Luncheon, like many of you, and I will tell you, it was very moving when Dewey and Becky spoke about their son Derek. And Becky just volunteers every week over there, and they do an amazing job at Metropolitan Ministries, and I hope you get a chance to drive by because it's really coming out of the ground nicely. My staff also attended the Gary Line ribbon cutting. I went to those are the pellets that they use, the recycled pellets there on the left. I attended the NACO County Crossroads Symposium in California. I'm going to talk about that at the next meeting, but learned a lot about economic development and recovery and emergency management. I mean, they lost 6,200 homes in a couple hours. So what they've went through and what they've learned there's some good lessons learned there. I want to recognize corrections, fire rescue, and public safety for another successful Angel Tree program. I think there may be there's some pictures there. Look at that. Benefiting Pasco County Foster and Adoptive Parents Association. They started this in 2018 with sponsoring 20 children. This year, they were able to fulfill the wish list for 108 children. So that is a great job. So thank you so much. Commissioners, going forward, you know, when we sit on these boards, especially the biggies, Tampa Bay Water, Planning Council, Tourism, we need to inform the other commissioners about the big items of what's going on. So I'm going to be asking during the commissioner items for you to just give a 1 or 2 minute update on whatever is happening of note in your meetings. I wasn't able to go to the TMA meeting, but in my meeting with Tania, she mentioned that Councilwoman Hurtak was very vocal against the regional MPO. I think we need to discuss some plan of action with the Tampa City Council because I believe the mayor is for it. I'd hate for her to torpedo the whole regional effort. There's possibly ways we can move forward without Tampa. We're going to get that information back to everybody, but I heard that that it was not the best meeting. With that, I'm going to say Merry Christmas to everybody. But Commissioners, I'll see you all on Monday and whatever staff here.
So Chair?
Yeah?
You're going to do chair appointments in the January meeting?
Yes.
And everybody, if there is a December meeting for any of the boards, who's ever appointed now
Yes,
will
stay. There's really, when I look down the list, it's probably mostly going to stay the same. I believe in continuity, but, you know, Commissioner Yeager's representing Commissioner Bradford, and there's maybe some changes there, and it's not sunshine for me to talk to you about it, so I'll talk to you about some of the potential changes. So, anything else? Okay, all right. Oh, okay. No, I do have one more thing. I'm sorry. I'm doing it to myself. This morning, you know, we hear issues from our constituents, and I think, you know, we need to acknowledge that. And so, I am very curious about, have we strayed from the mission of Connected City? We have asked for an update on VOPH as well. Where are we? Because every time we approve something, we have no idea how it fits into the overall plan because we only see a little piece of it. So at some point, whether it's a workshop or an R item, we need an update on what was it supposed to be, where are we now, are we on the right path on these big projects? Also, I have a question on Shady Hills and what's the plan, and especially if Hernando County's developing and they're using that as a connector to get through us, I want to hear what's the plan. So that's what I called you about, and I know you were busy, well, you're still in the meeting. So, you know, I think when we hear our citizens speaking loud like this, we need to answer them with something. Yeah. Commissioner Mariano.
Yeah, and I think you're running the money. And we've talked about County Line roads coming. That's going to bring even more traffic down to Shady Hills. The project we just approved here in Del Webb was part of a project that connects a sidewalk up to the schools. There's another one going up to Ballsy that we approved today as well. So we're working our way up the trail. That road needs to come, and the sooner it comes, the better. I don't know if it really caused any issues by not. I think we grabbed all the right-of-way we needed with Del Webb coming in on their side. We just got to get it from the other side. So I don't know if that was a big issue. But I do want to say, the Kreller Estates, I brought that up twice to the board now. Literally, I've been out there on site. When they finished that development, they actually took the ponds, and the biggest pond, the lowest pond, and it's less than 2 feet different from the height of a yard that's going to affect the neighborhood. When all that impervious comes in, it's going to affect it. So as I had said, I think we need to go look at what we're doing for stormwater. What we're doing is not going to work everywhere, and on major events, it's even granted that on a major event, It's not going to keep everybody else from flooding because it's going to topple over and go. So if you create that impervious, it's going to be a factor. So I think it is something to go look at, and it may be the logic of using something like we have basin of special concern conditions. Maybe we need to put that condition in everywhere.
Okay.
So,
I know, that's garbage, sorry.
That's all.
My ride is gonna leave me, and I'll have to drive all the Tampa, all the way to Tampa.
you adjourn?
Yeah, we're adjourned.